Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Thursday Night Locals and Nerd Rage Gaming. My name is Dan Hugar. I am here with Trevor Tran. And Trevor, dude, we got some fun Pokemon.
Hey, we're back. We're back at the Thursday Night Lights shining down on us.
Yes.
It's a good time. It's going to be a good time tonight. Just be a regular pitch black local tonight. Nothing crazy. But coming up for NRG soon, we have the 3v3 event coming up. Not this coming Sunday, but the next Sunday, so the 16th of August. Be sure to tune in. It'll be some nice 3v3 action. So I think last time we had this event, I unfortunately didn't come or couldn't go, but I heard it was a very fun time because it was just like, more people playing Pokemon, so it seems awesome.
No, it's a fun team event. I also was not here because I had something to do with family and whatnot. Mira, thank you so much for joining. Awesome to see you here. So, Trevor, you're right. It's a cool event because normally Pokemon's always one-on-one.
Yes.
But you actually get to work with a team for this.
Yes. So it's going to be a little bit interesting. The dynamic is going to obviously be different.
Yes.
Because you can communicate with your teammates. You have to figure out your team composition. This sounds like because you have to play 3 distinct archetype decks.
Yes.
That is the stipulation that we have set in place. So it's going to be like, all right, I'm going to play XYZ deck because I can cover these on the matchup spread, and then hopefully someone else can play a different deck, and then be like, all right, hopefully in this section they can cover this matchup, and then we'll figure it out from there.
No, exactly. And so one of the things when we say 3 unique decks, because we've gotten this question a lot, Dragapult is Dragapult. You cannot play Dragapult Dusknoir, Dragapult Blaziken, and Dragapult Hammers as your 3 decks. You get to play one Dragapult. And I mean, honestly, that's more just because it's more fun that way.
Yeah.
See some cool stuff.
I don't know, I know Dragapult's the best deck, but it doesn't seem against the spirit of the fun of the event if a team rocks up with Dragapult Dusknoir, Dragapult Hammers, and then Dragapult, just straight Dragapult with just straight up text. I'm just like, oh, what do we do? It's I know you're trying to win, but it's all right, whatever.
I know. So you still want to win. There's still money on the line. But yes, knowing also that you only have a 33% chance of hitting Dragapult when you sit down, I'm hoping this gives a little more creativity for people too in what they bring. And Mira, Mega Starmie with Rocket's Crobat. I think Mega Starmie's interesting. I think trying to play a stage 2 with that deck with no draw power is asking for trouble. But what do you think, Trevor?
There was a time where I played it to locals for
oh, that's
3
true.
weeks, and then I was like, this is really cute and all, but once I get hand disrupted, I'm just out of the game.
Yes.
So
that is unfortunately the problem.
So just oh, well, if we had an onboard draw, then maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
Absolutely. Damien, I am not going to Baltimore.
Neither
Are you going?
No.
Apparently, there's 3,600 people going, so I'm glad they kind of expanded it a bit, because I think it's 2,700 Masters estimated right now.
Yeah, I haven't checked personally, just because I had no plans of going to Baltimore.
Fair.
Maybe Louisville.
Louisville could be fun. But we actually do get to go and get started in our first game here, and we are going to see a deck neither of us talked about, Alakazam versus the cooler Stage 2 Dragon in Dragonite. And so, Trevor, can you talk us through Dragonite here?
Okay, well, not definitely something you see often, but Mega Dragonite EX is a 370 HP. I think it's 370 or 360.
I think it is 370.
Yeah, 370.
That's a beefy boy.
It's a beefsteak. But it offers a ability. I forget what it's called, Sky Transport or something. Where you are able to switch your active Pokemon with one of your benches. So very, very high mobility. And then also its attack, I think, Reno Glide, I believe. It does.
Yes.
For a water and
and 2 lightning.
And 2 lightning, it does 330 damage. So really able to take a hit and then dish it out very, very nicely as well. But we're probably thinking, well, how do you get to that point? You have the what is it, Dragonair? That's what I was making that name. The Dragonair has an ability on the stage 2 that if it has an energy attached, you get to search your deck for evolution Pokemon. So you're pretty much incentivized to kind of just fill your deck with some evolution Pokemon, because you're able to essentially fish out whatever evolution line you need at that point.
Dude, 100%. Marowak swapping the Dusclops line for Dunsparce, that does help with draw, but I'm pretty sure the only reason you win with Starmie is when you get a board wipe. So swapping out Dusclops line, I think, undermines the entirety of the power. And Damien, Grimmething may be the move for Worlds, so I want to see what goes on there before you can get to Baltimore.
It's going to be very interesting. I kind of forget that like Worlds is in 3 or so weeks or something.
It is.
So it's going to be, so it's like, I know a lot of people are getting ready, really essentially like teching or not really deck or just like getting all their practice in, but like it's also like no one wants to like leak what they're cooking, right?
Right.
So like it's kind of like all quiet on the Western Front until it happens, and then we're going to see whatever people have cooked up with.
Listen, group chats are popping off. Social media is quiet. It's kind of the balance. It's because everyone's trying to figure it out, but like you said, not broadcast. Mm-hmm. And so going over to Edwin's turn, though, Edwin is having basically a picture-perfect start for turn 1, not having a way to attack. But, I mean, who cares? You have a Dedenne in the active. You have a Dunsparce, 2 Abra. I mean, the dude basically set up about as perfectly as he could want.
Yeah, definitely, especially going second, getting the Badoo down, getting the Dunsparce down, and then he can search. He's using the Pokepad, thinking about the Kadabra. Yeah, that can just give you more card search later. I didn't get a quite look at his Edwin's hand at the next on the next turn, but you can even like draw into a Dawn. That gets you even more set up. And it's just kind of like we're just drawing our entire deck from there, and we can figure something out.
So actually, I don't mind the Budu here, but to be honest, it almost would have been better to just electromagnetic sonar for that Pokepad again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, or I definitely noticed that. I was just like, at that point, Dragonite, or at least like with Dragonair, you're not going to use any items to search out your evolution Pokemon. So getting item locked here isn't like the most horrible thing, unless Martin unfortunately doesn't draw into like any Pokemon or to put down or to evolve up. So here we are.
And I think that's the risk for Martin. Martin does need to find more basics. Dragonair is awesome, but it finds evolution Pokemon, not basics. So it is going to be a little tough. And Mira, for surprise decks, honestly, I think, and my friend's Ben Doberstein, so I'm a little biased, I think that BFA Hydrapple, if it hits enough good matchups, one of those could make a huge run in the tournament.
Yeah. That's a deck that's very near and dear to his heart, and he was the one that put me on it to get my ever first day 2 at Indianapolis. So love to see a Hydrapple will take it down. I haven't been playing too much Pokemon as of recently, but I have been big on Slowking.
Dude, Slowking can be good. It can just run people over.
Yeah, it's just like if you didn't if no one teched for it, then it's just like, all right, I'm gonna be doing some like atrocious war crimes to the board state.
So, and that's exactly it. It's if the deck sounds like cope. Listen, Damien, it is a little bit, but I'm still here for it.
I don't think it's as bad as people think.
So I would agree with that. It is a very real, competent deck. Will it do well? That is yet to be determined, but it is a good deck. And on Martin's side, Martin's deck is unfortunately not operating as effectively as he would like. So he does have a Dragonair, does have a Dratini, but nothing else right now, which kind of gives Edwin a chance to start taking prizes.
Yeah. There's still the caveat that Edwin still hasn't really represented a attack just yet with just these Abras, unless a rare candy Alakazam is coming in or whatever. But for the most part, it's just like Martin still has maybe a turn or two to get something set up before and take a couple prizes before Edwin can build a hand large enough to take down a Dragonite. But you know how Alakazam likes to operate. They just kind of have 30 cards in hand by the end of the game, and then they kind of just cherry pick, or they basically have all the options because they essentially have all their the entire deck in their hand.
So, and that's the tough part is Martin's Wait, did Edwin actually shuffle his deck?
I did not catch anything.
Okay. So we'll keep an eye on that just to make sure. But Martin's Dragonite does have 370 HP. However, that means Edwin has to have 19 cards in hand. And he can still one-shot it relatively easily. So the tough part is Martin's going to have to apply a ton of pressure and then also be able to disrupt Edwin sufficiently so that way he can stop those big return knockouts.
Yeah.
And so for Edwin's end, Trevor, you were kind of talking about Edwin not building to an attack. Does Edwin care about taking a prize here?
Honestly, not right now. I would say just because Martin's board is so underdeveloped, and then once Martin does evolve into a Mega Dragonite EX, assumedly,
Yes.
he would be able to have enough resources to take a knockout on that, and then initiate the prize trade by only offering one prizer and taking a 3 prizer. Means Edwin has a lot of time to
Agreed.
Basically do whatever he wants, because he's not going to lose the game as quickly as Martin could.
And so Mira, yes, that is a Tatsugiri in the active that lets Martin look at the top few cards of his deck for a supporter. For Zero Hugs, this is not Riftbound. We are just playing some Pokemon today. And then Chaz, Mega Excadrill, I think, could be fantastic or could be an utter brick, and I am fascinated to see how it does at Worlds.
It's so like 0 or 100, so it's just like we'll see what happens.
So then, Trevor, for Martin's end, Martin obviously has a couple different pieces here. Is there a world where he evolves first and then goes into his deck with the Lilies or something?
Let's see. That also depends. I think did he already attach for turn?
He did. He attached the Lightning Energy to the Dragonair on the bench.
I'd say, okay, so he's going to fish out all of those and then go one. I think he has an air balloon, or no, he doesn't even need an air balloon, technically, just because of Mega Dragonite's attack or ability would be able to provide them all the mobility it needs.
Yes.
He would need.
And so one piece we haven't seen yet in this Dragonite deck, because that attack does require you to discard 2 energy to use it.
Yes.
This is typically played with Electric.
Yeah. Just to be able to basically recycle all those energy that he's going to be discarding in a bit, or to attack with the Dragonite. But just haven't been able to see any Dynamos or any of those guys come down. So presumably very much missing. Opting to go for the Crispin here.
And I think that's the right choice, because I think what Martin's saying is he's actually going to attack with Dragonair. So go in, knock out this buddy, give himself a little bit of distance. Oh, and actually just passing over to Edwin. What do you think of that decision?
Well, maybe he's hoping to be able to... let's say if Edwin does initiate the prize trade on the Tatsugiri, I guess Martin would be okay. Maybe he's hoping for a Judge to take a knockout onto an Alakazam before to pair up with, or pairing a Judge with a knockout would definitely slow Edwin down here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And to basically ensure, not only to disrupt Edwin's board setup, but also ensure that a Dragonite gets to live a next turn.
And that is the biggest deal. So Martin is going to need to stream Attacker somehow, and he's going to be in a tough position to do so without any electrics on the board. And just for chat really quick, Mira, I've actually been playing a bunch of hide and seek, and unfortunately I think it just doesn't apply quite enough pressure. And Chaz, Hero's Cape is pretty good in Excadrill. What do you think of that, Trevor?
Oh, it's especially if you're a Hero's Cape and you need a Dragapult needs to Phantom Dive it into it twice.
Yes.
And it's also especially if you're playing a Ice Cream Cone, because I know some people are thinking about adding that into the 60. Just makes your whole board, your whole game plan against the Dragapult super bulky, just because they can't ever really take a knockout on something, or they can't really hope to clean up a knockout onto a Mega Excadrill after they swung into it once.
And that is a tough part, because if you try to two-shot that, you are allowing them to essentially take 4 prizes to 3, and that is going to be an Excadrill's advantage, obviously, since they only really need to attack 3 times then to win the game. And then for Edwin's hand is enormous, Trevor.
Yep, that is the hallmark of a Alakazam deck. So basically, just going to count up, making sure that he, obviously will have enough for a Dragonite in the future. Opts to go for the Hilda here. Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that, because you only basically need 2 Alakazams or 2 Alakazam pieces on your board at the same time. Going any more could risk clogging up a space, or you can mismanage something like that, because you can maybe it could be another Dunsparce or something. But having just this board setup of essentially 2 Dunsparce or 2 Dunsparce and 2 Alakazam lines, you're basically set up. Especially, don't even have to pop the Dunsparces later. I'm gonna go for the knockout here.
And that is certainly enough damage to knock out that little Tatsugiri. Mira, I think Mega Greninja is cool, but not amazing. I think Festival Lead is actually really good. I do not think there's an effective way to combine them both.
Yeah, I know like a Tim Danklin was the one that popularized that like variant of Greninja, just being obviously like quick searching a couple times is very strong, and getting to use Surfing Beach and stuff like that to like basically have a lot of mobility and maneuver your Greninjas to do multiple Mortal Shurikens
Yeah.
in a turn, which is really cool. Don't mind, don't like that like. Don't mind, like, don't get me wrong. That's awesome, but sometimes it's just like when that is the only thing you can do. Sometimes it's just not enough to get you over that finish line. Sometimes.
Agreed. And so one of the advantages Festival Lead has, obviously, is that Grookey that lets you search. But unfortunately, if you have a Mega Greninja in the active, like, you're not going to be able to use that until you retreat out into a Diplin or something, and that is tough. Zero, Martin is playing Secret Box, so there's no unfair stamp coming. And Raikota, thank you for joining. Awesome to have you here.
All right, so we're gonna get that Pokepad. Dynamo does make its appearance now that Martin can actually use all the items in his hand. So notably evolving both Dragonites into both Dragonite into Dragonite, so he can, I guess, Ultra Balling here for the electric signifies that Martin doesn't have a hand disruption paired up with this knockout.
So I would say, Mira, if you're not playing Diplin, I think you're losing your opportunity for big reach, and including just a ton of other pieces. I'm a little hesitant to say that that is going to be the best way to play it, but I am not a pro, so that's fine. And Raikota, I believe Martin is playing the Electros, Mega Electros, which is a pretty cool Pokemon too.
Yes, definitely. Like, obviously with Dragapult kind of like being the gatekeeper and
Yes.
kind of keeping down all these cool, all these are like not really cool. That's like cool, but like all these cool decks, I guess. But just most of the time, it's just like they kind of fold to Dragapult. It's nice to, or like once rotation happens, I'm sure there'll be a lot of different stuff that it's going to be good. Just because I think the overall power level of the game will go down.
Yes.
Due to us losing a lot of like really strong cards from rotation. So like all the A specs are going to rotate out come next year. So it's going to be like, well, we're cool. We get my 60th card deck space back, so because we don't have to play an ice spec.
Well, and I think that's part of it. Also, there was a sharp decline in power during this past rotation. The problem is Dragapult didn't lose anything.
Yes.
So it wasn't that Dragapult got better, it's that everything got worse and Dragapult didn't. And so Dragapult looks like this bonkers deck when really it just is in comparison to the rest of the meta.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there wasn't like, obviously I'm a big Gardevoir fan, so I was like, we never had Gardevoir is gone to not keep Dragapult in check.
Right.
So it's like, here we are. Or I guess it was also like Godengo and Charizard.
Well, and that's exactly it. Dengo, Charizard, Pidgeot EX. There were so many pieces that got lost. And now, Draculac's one of the best draw engines in the game. And Zero, if there is a judge in deck, I actually agree. I think Martin judging that turn would have been really, really good.
Yeah. Don't know if either. I'm not. I obviously didn't get a chance to look, but either piece would have been good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, if you don't mind, Bryce. Thank you. Oh, Martin caught it. It's like, just kidding. Only get to put one of those down.
Skyfield is not in rotation. Not in the format yet.
And so Edwin does draw 3 with that Dunsparce. Is Edwin not a knockout on this Dragonite yet?
There has to be, because he needs what, 370, so I guess 380.
So he's 19 cards.
So he needs 19 cards.
Which maybe he's not there yet, actually. Sees the Dawn Blade, so that will be +2 for Edwin's hand.
Definitely going to grab probably the Dunsparce too, make sure that he can... Oh.
And actually, this is a piece that we haven't talked about much in this deck, but Toucannon, huge in GLC, actually has been a really nice inclusion into Alakazam.
Yeah.
Because it gives you a big damage attacker that doesn't rely on damage counters. So you kind of have more flexibility to play around the counters if you're Alakazam.
Yeah, definitely a really flexible addition to Edwin here for the Alakazam deck. Like you get, like you said, like it deals damage, so mist energy won't just outright stop Alakazam. And I know before Toucan, Alakazam like kind of sometimes teched the other Alakazam from Twilight Masquerade.
Yes.
Just to be able to get around mist energies and like Articunos and whatnot. So I'm gonna take the huge knockout here on the Mega Dragonite.
And Martin deciding to go into Mega Dragonite, I feel like he probably could have led something else, but does top deck Lightning Energy, so easy.
Yeah. So just you know, I could have bit him in the end, but you know, it's okay.
Well, so now actually, this is huge.
Yes.
Martin is in a position to actually put Edwin in a really tough spot because, as you see, Trevor, there are no Pokemon on Edwin's board that can draw.
Yeah, I mean, and Martin does have that red card in hand, so he's going to be able to red card, take out his only attacker, and then hope Edwin doesn't draw into any. Well, this Dragonite's going to live probably into the next turn, very likely, just because unless Edwin can suddenly draw up to 19 cards in his deck, or 19 cards in his hand again, then it's going to be really rough.
So that candy could help, but this is actually where I think I would love to see Martin gust and knock out either Abra or Dunsparce or something like that, because the Alakazam is an attacker, but it's currently doing basically nothing.
Yeah.
And so Martin with the boss, seriously, man, I would love to see that boss on Abra or Dunsparce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gonna go grab another one. Why not? But no, yeah, definitely. I would grab. I think in his situation, I would personally gravitate towards getting the Dunsparce because you know those are in deck and live still.
Yes.
And then I guess it would offer Edwin the most most burst draw essentially. So.
Logan, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. And Raikota, I would agree. So Edwin now getting to draw 3 cards, does have Hilda, does have Rare Candy. This is not going to be enough to get over 370, but this is a pretty good hand for Edwin.
Yeah, it has a Night Stretcher, so it has that Rare Candy to pair up with the Alakazam that just got knocked out. So essentially hoping to... Edwin will be able to build up some sort of hand, but it'll just be up to Martin to keep chaining multiple red cards if he does have multiple red cards in his list.
Yes.
To basically keep Edwin down and be able to claw his way back into this game.
Well, so now this would be a big deal. Edwin is debating going for a Night Stretcher for Kadabra to just draw with Abra here.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Definitely maybe hoping to get into a Toucan in here, because with Edwin only being on 2 prizes, he doesn't need to go after this Dragonite to close out the game. He can just boss up this Pheasantipede and finish the game throughout there. So maybe going for the Kadabra just to hopefully find a little bit more pieces, maybe for like a Toucan or so.
And I think you're absolutely right. I think Toucan is going to be the play here, both for an attacker and because it gives you some sustained draw. Mm-hmm. For Amira, dude, thank you for joining from the Netherlands. That's so sick.
What time is it over there?
It is, gosh, what time? Is it 3 a.m. over there?
What are you doing up?
Wait, no, it'd be 1 or 2 a.m. over there. Dang.
Either way, why are you doing up?
Right, go to bed. Logan, dude, you're one of our favorite friends here. Thank you so much for joining. It's awesome to have you.
It's 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Bro, that is so far past my bedtime. I don't even know what to say.
I can seldom do that.
Right. Wait, more Dutchies. Yeah, boy, you're also from the Netherlands? That's sick. All right, so then Trevor, Edwin looks like he's going to play that Rare Candy and Toucan and go for the Enriching Energy. Is this the right play here?
So he will be able to obviously attach the Enriching Draw 4 and then also Rare Candy this Toucan. Maybe even, I think probably I think it's a good enough play. We can hit into this Dragonite and maybe soften it up for another Alakazam later. So just make sure makes your threshold for winning the game or closing the game out that much lower. It just depends on if Martin has like a rare candy to another Dragon Knight and hoping he doesn't have boss. But definitely we're going to see what happens. Again, obviously contingent on Martin not playing a second red card.
Yes.
To disrupt whatever Edwin is trying to build back up here.
And I think that's going to be the big risk, because also with this Pheasantipity coming down, the good news for Edwin is this 2-cannon is now hitting for 220.
Yes.
And that is two-shotting Dragonite. So this is a lot of pressure.
Yes. Maybe because it's going to be Martin is going to have to make a difficult decision, obviously, to either knock out this 2-cannon next turn to save his Pheasantipity from a potential knockout, or taking out a Kadabra or taking out Kadabra or something to try to prevent a one-shot onto like a fresh Dragonite.
Agreed. Bryce, would you mind gently encouraging pace of play? Okay, we're making moves.
All right.
And then Edwin does hit for 220, which is a big ol' hit onto this Dragonite. But like you said, Trevor, this thing's got 370 HP. Like, it is beefy.
It'll take it.
All right, and so then going into Martin's turn, Martin does play Wally's Compassion, which is pretty sick. However, he's going to need to get 3 energy down on this Dragonite, and right now he is not set up for that.
Yeah, a difficult ask. Just to get 3 energy up, and with only 1 electric setup here. So definitely going to have to dig a little deep.
And so there is another red card in hand for Martin, which is a big deal.
Alrighty.
There's also this Mega Electros EX, Sweet Child of Mine. And it does have 2 attacks. One, I believe it snipes twice for 60 damage each. The second attack is 190. You can discard 2 lightning and paralyze. So there is a way for Martin to actually attack with this Electrox EX and apply a whole lot of pressure without triggering Pheasantipity or anything.
Looks like Martin is gonna be doing that.
And there we go. So it's something bomb, and I believe it is you do 60 to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So Martin could choose to take a knockout or just hit the 2-cannon for 100, hit something else on the bench, and then wipe attackers next turn. And that's pretty good, man.
Especially paired up with this red card here. Like again, Edwin just spent his enriching energy. He spent like a Kadabra and a Pheasantipity, so like he's gonna have to work extra hard to build up the hand back up again.
Yes. Zero, Edwin did use Hilda to get the 2-cannon. So unfortunately, there could have been a low chance that he could just use a Night Stretcher, Candy, Alakazam, but went for the 2-cannon for the consistent play.
Which is fair. I mean, Edwin does have some time, so I don't blame him for going for that line.
Not at all. So then, Trevor, how does Martin respond? Because Martin obviously has to red card here, correct?
Yes. So we're going to see the boss.
I love this decision. Now, I do not love the sequencing. Pheasantipity first, people.
Yeah.
Always Pheasantipity first.
You always want to see what other, like, all the available cards you can have on your turn before you commit to a certain line. So I mean, if Martin is dead set on this line, then more for it. But, you want to have all the information available to you before you decide your turn.
Agreed. And so now Martin is going to have to disrupt here. And Logan, yes, I think Edwin is a senior. Yeah, boy, not going to dox your friends. Totally reasonable. Don't need to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to say a specific set of coordinates.
Yes.
Please write this down.
All right, so Martin deciding to go with just the double snipe. But to be honest, man, this is a huge deal because he really needed to disrupt the hand. Because all Edwin needs to win is Energy Boss.
Yes, and...
Correct. You're right. Well, if it mattered, we would certainly call them out on that. But yes.
But despite the fact that Edwin, with his huge hand, without the red card, yeah,
And so that actually is the thing. Also, being able to gust the Fez, Edwin had game anyway. Martin needed to disrupt there, and just kind of stinks that he didn't see that he needed to do that to close out the game.
I mean, like even with like, because at the end of the like and the end games of Alakazam's, like you're gonna have to assume they have everything.
Yes.
Just because they literally have everything in their hand.
Well, when they have 20 cards in hand, gotta assume something's gonna happen.
Yeah. Unless,
Hapatata, hello, thank you for joining.
I love me a Hapatata.
Absolutely.
But no, it's just like unless you like have this really like not really like niche, but like just like a pipeline of a dream that something is promised.
Right.
But then even then again, it's just like you're just gonna have to if you have it in your hand and it's available, then I think you just have to rip it.
And that's part of the decision making with the game, especially with limited disruption. As we saw, Martin played 2 red cards, and for a lot of decks, that is the extent. They get to disrupt once or twice. So picking the right moment to do it is essential. And in that situation, he had already disrupted once. But you have to buy a couple turns. And for those who are watching, this is a thing you do with Dragapult all the time, is when your opponent has Fezandipity on the board, disrupt, and then do not take a knockout. But if your opponent has a huge hand and you don't take a knockout, it doesn't really matter if they can't Fez if they already have 20 cards in hand.
Yes. So I guess like in a perfect world, Martin would disrupt there. Hopefully this Fezandipity sticks in the active, and
yes.
he can just do 60-60 snipes on his 2 attackers, and then hopefully, grind the game down to that. Because he can just spawn camp, essentially. All the Abras coming down.
100%.
All the pick-up hexes coming down. In a perfect world, that would happen, but unfortunately did not go for that.
Dude, PTC trainer, wish you could be here too, but hopefully you're having time with the kid, which is always nice. But Trevor, so Dragon Knight's not one we have on the list. What do you have on your list if you're prepping for Worlds?
All right. So obviously every single Dragapult variant that is. So it's Blaziken, Death Snore, Hammers, Straight, whatever.
Dragapult Starmie. We were talking about Starmie. Dragapult Starmie is still pretty cool.
You never know. You never know.
Right.
And then I am thinking obviously Alakazam. I'm picking Festival Lead.
Yeah.
Slow King. Probably like Slot Box in some variant.
Yes. Big basic box is a very real thing.
And Mega Excadrill. So despite Dragapult being like the best deck in the room, there's still a lot of decks that actually can be played.
Yes.
And it's it wasn't, I guess, like when rotation initially happened, everyone was really doom and gloom about Dragapult being the best deck, and then if you like look back on the season, it's like I guess it has won regionals, but it hasn't won every regional.
And so that's true. Josh, that's fair. Mike, they do just always have it. Hapatata, yes, it is best of 1. It's just locals tonight, so we're doing best of 1 each round. And Nick, dude, I'm excited. Congratulations on the house. That is a big deal.
Homeowner is being. It's a blessing, but also can be a curse. So just gotta get ready.
Dude, it's an expensive life, and it makes sense that it takes away from Pokemon a little bit.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Anything in particular on stream?
Just something cool.
Well,
if there's an Excadrill, that'd be cool.
I don't know.
Listen, you asked me questions of what do you want to see on stream. I'm telling you what we want to see on stream.
I put Eli on the stream.
Oh yeah, sweet.
Right.
Sounds good.
He's cool.
He is cool.
Actually,
Eli is.
I'll put the Chandelure thing on stream.
Oh, yes. Okay. So this is a spicy one. And Trevor, we were talking about cool decks. Did you see this Chandelure deck?
No, yes. I think I believe Olive was the one that's been playing it. And she's been kind of just bringing it like the past couple weeks. And I think she and I talked about it when the first week she came. I think it's a really, really neat deck.
It is. It is very, very cool. So you guys will see in a little bit, but it essentially involves Chandelure and Delmise, and not Chandelure or Mega Chandelure EX, just the Fire Chandelure, which has an interesting ability that lets each of you draw a card, and then for a single energy does damage based on the number of cards in hand. And Trevor, we saw this with Alakazam. Everyone is just stacking their hand with 1 billion cards right now.
I know. It's kind of like just taking advantage that like some of these really go fast decks aren't really playing any hand disruption, because why would they need to if they're just gonna win the game as fast as possible? Why would I want to? Why I don't need to disrupt your hand because I'm going to disrupt your board by KOing any attacker. You promote. So gonna have to see. So basically, why would they? And then with this Chandelure deck basically being facilitated by the new spreading lights by the Lampin.
Yes.
If any all the Mirage Step Curlia lovers
Absolutely. Or the
included, because I used to do it. It was a good time.
Absolutely. No, there are a lot of pieces to this deck that help it set up consistently. PTCG trainer, yeah, Zerosix
What up, Zeno?
certainly could be something that fits in here. And it looks like the Amityville Horror House. That's awesome, man. I love it. So I agree. So I think the Chandelure deck is really cool. And Olivia asked us to refer to her as Olivia or Liv. So
Liv.
I'm going to try to remember that. So Trevor, please yell at me when I inevitably screw that up. But Liv does have this deck, and I mean, it's cool. The issue is, allegedly, and I say this heavily, allegedly, you have a good Dragapult matchup because you have Delmise and Clefairy. But here's the problem. If you Gust knock out Clefairy with a Blaziken and use an Unfair Stamp or red card, you go, huh, how do I get through that? Or, hypothetically, you Dusknoir, knock out a Chandelure, and then Gust knock out a Clefairy, and then Disrupt, you go, huh, how do I draw cards? And so it's one of those things where theoretically, if everything flows, you should be Dragapult. And then you remember that Dragapult is just better than everything else and can probably run you over.
No, yeah. I remember being initially like really excited when Olivia initially showed me the deck, and I'm like, because I love Chandelure. Chandelure is one of my favorite Pokemon. So being able to like build a 60 with it was like really cool.
Yes.
And then like and any way to like facilitate that dream of playing Chandelure is really awesome. But it's just the fact that like I know she said that it has a really good Dragapult matchup, but it's also just really contingent on, I guess, your opponent not knowing how to navigate.
So, and that
spot.
Okay, so we can actually talk about that for a second. So as we're getting the round set up, that is a very good strategy a lot of times. So you guys know rogue decks, like the kind of off-the-wall deck, a big advantage is that people don't know how to play against it. So if you're going into the field and you sit down and you know the matchup and your opponent doesn't, obviously you're in a great position. I don't know how well that holds at Worlds.
Yes.
Because I think at Worlds, everyone is competent enough where they can usually piece it together within about half a game.
Yeah, it's like, you gotta make the sucker punch like really work before.
Exactly.
Before like someone figures it out, and even then, it's just like with Worlds 2, it's such a smaller like pool of players because it's, so like once your trick works on one person, you know that person's gonna go to their group and be like, hey, this person is doing this, and how do we beat it? And then they're gonna talk, and then they're already gonna figure out a counter strategy by the next time they like if it happens to appear.
Yes.
So playing like these rogue strategies, it's again like a gamble, but but it's definitely a lot more insulated in a regular regional, just because nobody is going to be testing as hard as everybody will be at Worlds.
And also, I mean this with love, the level of player at Worlds is higher than at general regional.
Yes.
Because there's about 2,000 or 1,500 people at each regional who aren't going to be able to qualify for Worlds. So it's a different population. And Ovi, thank you so much for joining. Raikota, we had a couple locals make it. No, only I think 2 of us on the Nerd Rage team tried, and neither of us made it, unfortunately.
They were close, I believe.
So Rafal was 2 rounds away in NAIC from getting his invite, which is unfortunate. And both he and Eli bubbled multiple times or lost wins and ins to Top Cut throughout the year. So it was both a really successful season for both of them and a super disappointing one.
No, it's so it's so disheartening just to see like you were so close to it, but if one or 2 more things went your way, then you probably would have been in a different spot than you are now. But we're gonna get into this game here with Liv on her Chandelure deck against Ohas on a Grimmsnarl. What was it? Whoever was in chat was talking about Grimmsnarl.
Dude, Grimmothy is actually in a really good position because it has now literally doubled the amount of good supporters it can play with Win coming out. And so, Trevor, you're a Grimmothy fan. Tell us about Grimmothy. What is Ohas trying to do this turn? What is the game plan?
Well, Grimmothy is going to set up basically 1 to 2 Impidimps here, and then hopefully get a Spike Month just to get that consistency flowing, while also setting up some Snow Runts to be able to evolve into Frostfast later. Frostlass's ability notably does not ping the hide and sneak decks.
Correct.
So so it's going to be kind of just mostly self ping something. And usually Grimmothy is usually paired up with these Monkey Dories with a dark attachment here. Also notably, Monkey Dory can't move their damage counters onto onto hide and sneak onto the hide and sneak cards either. But they can essentially just be used as a 30 damage counter heal.
So they can. Also, it can move down to Chandelier. And it should also be noted, the hide and sneakers are not protected from the snipe damage from Grimmsnarl.
Yes.
So even if you can't use Monkey Dory or Frostlass to build it up, Grimmsnarl can still place it and kind of play around this. But the bigger deal for Liv is her hand is horrible.
Yes.
Because I don't think Chandelier plays Meowth.
I don't think so. Or at least her list might not. But things can always change week to week.
So one thing, though, this Bayonet actually has a really, really cool attack. For a single energy, you hit for 80 damage, and then you get to search your deck for any card. And that is just really, really strong because it lets you set up your whole board.
You know, Shinobi Blade on a single prizer is pretty good.
That is. So here's the issue for Liv, though. Liv has a Pokepad in hand. Ohas. Oh, never mind. This is an even bigger deal because rather than worrying about item locking or delaying, Ohas is just going to say, I'm going to cook this Shuppet and then put a bunch of damage on your Litwicks. And boy, oh boy, does that seem like a solid strategy to me, Trevor.
Yeah, you know, especially like this is notably not without any draw supporters, because this is why you play all those draw supporters,
right?
To you know, live for this play. But no, just going. Hey, I have Grimmsnarl in hand already. I just need a rare candy. Got that petrol. I fear this may be cook chat, maybe, but we'll definitely see how this goes. For Olivia here, notably Olivia didn't go first, so they can't spreading light.
Correct. So one thing, though, I think I would have liked to see, though this depends on what's in Ohas's hand, I actually would have really liked to see that Petrol get the, I don't know why I'm talking so slowly, but get Secret Box instead. Because right now, Ohas kind of has nothing in hand that he can use to set up next turn, except for a Frostlass.
And like I think we said before, not terribly useful right now, but maybe just maybe getting the Frostlass to start stacking up the damage on the Monkey Dory would be better. Ohas will better position his hand, but maybe in a sense he's trying to like maybe play my hand down, because I know Chandelier damage is dependent on how many cards I have in my hand. So let me just play down to a thin hand and make sure that my Grimmsnarl can live a turn.
And so that's a good point. Rakota, maybe Box is prized. But Trevor, you're right, and I understand that if I want to keep my hand small. If Box is available, I probably still would have liked to see Box instead, but this is also fine. Ohas is in a very, very good position right now, and so Liv is going to have to find a way to respond, and it's probably going to involve getting a Chandelier up and living.
Easier said than done, because it does only have, what, 140 HP.
So it has 130 HP.
130.
And the bigger deal is if Ohas can boss, this Lampin's going to go down.
So we're going to top deck of Lilies here.
And let me tell you, Grimmsnarl players, they just always have it. Off the top deck, Lily's Determination for Ohas. Why not? Who needs Secret Box? Just draw it. And Ben, thank you for the support. We love you too, man. And there are 4 rounds for locals tonight.
Yep.
And so, Trevor, what are your ranking of A specs?
What am I? Well, you know,
even just give us the top couple and then the worst. I'll help you on the worst.
No, Secret Box got to be up there. Got to be the top one, just because of how versatile of a card it is. I think it's one of the most regionals. Shout out to Guardy.
Yeah.
But like even then, it's just like a Charizard can use the Charizard. Like I think Jackson Ford won it with Charizard.
100%.
It's just like being able to cherry pick 4 cards from your deck. It's like so strong. And I know like, there's like a time when Prime Catcher was like the everyone was like, oh my gosh, Prime Catcher is going to be the best.
Right.
I mean, it is good, but you know what's better than playing boss on an item is getting your boss and getting everything set up as well too. So it's just going to be. So it's going to be something that is.
Oh, Box was in deck. Okay. And no, agreed. Like, Secret Box, being able to just go and get whatever you need is amazing. Prime Catcher Guzma as an item is incredible. For me, it's actually Amulet of Hope is by far the worst because literally no one has even considered playing it. But Dangerous Laser is a close second that actually found its way into some Iron Thorns lists. And I have no idea how, but it did. All right, so then Trevor, Ojas looks like he's set up pretty well here. Is there anything else you would want to see?
Let's see. So he has this Frostlass, has a Monkey Dory attach. Probably I would like to see another a Morgrim or something, just another way to develop the second line, just in case, just for this Grimmsnarl, just like because eventually it's going to get swing into, and then if that is Ojas's only attacker, then he might be in some trouble.
And I would agree, and I think that's the risk too. Is having a follow-up attacker would be really good, but on the bright side, I think Oaz is going to need to have a lot more cards in hand before this Chandelure is really a threat.
Yeah, so I think Ojas, after the Lilies, and he played...
Oh, man, that's tough. Seeing the Gwyn, which is a great supporter in this deck, not what Liv wants to see, but gets the Lilies.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine.
This is fine. This is all fine. This is great.
It's, it could be worse. Could be worse.
And so, Trevor, remind me, it's 20 more...
It's
yes.
30 per.
30 per your opponent's hand. Okay. So in that case, Ojas is pretty safe right now because he only has 6 or 7 cards in hand.
Oh, 1, 2, yeah, I think 6. So yeah, basically, so this is going to cap out at 180 from the Chandelure, unless Olivia has like rare candies, which I don't think she has. I like to say won't, but we'll see what happens.
I think there is at least 1 or 2 candies in here, but yes, the odds of that happening are not great. And also, even if Ojas does have to draw a card, 1 more card is not the difference maker here.
Yes.
Logan, she did not. There was no opportunity for Olivia to use Alluring Light.
So we're going to see the Legacy energy come down. So going to see that. Notably, only like 1 hide and sneak in the discard, so
Yes.
can't really come into the limelight here.
Well, there's 2 more going in there.
All right, okay, we just need 1 more now.
And so Delmise can be a very efficient cleanup attacker. Oh, getting the Shaman down.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
I think it's okay. Eventually, Ojas will be able to just move all his damage counters on that Shaman and then nullify that anyways. And we're going to see the swing in from Olivia as well, essentially donating Ojas some more damage counters to be moved around. So now could be a little bit of a risky play, but Olivia just really needs to get some sort of pressure going. But Ojas, it will be able to bench a second Monkey Dory and a Dark.
And that is a huge deal. And Olivia just goes it on up and says, you're going to knock out my Chandelure and knock out my Lampent, and there's not a lot I can do after that. So
that's so rough. Didn't really get to see the like Delmise side of everything, but just sometimes that's what happens with Pokemon. You just can't get it off the ground sometimes, but that's okay.
Agreed. And so we're getting into this game, and poor Eli, we continue to show him playing Zoroark into grass attacking decks, and this is not great for Eli here, Trevor.
And Thor is he's a festival lead, like, enthusiast. He's always playing festival lead. He's probably like...
This is his baby. Yeah, this is his deck.
He rocks up every week, plays festival lead, and I had a good time.
And he at a minimum goes 3-1.
Yeah.
He just always does well. Because like you said, this is his baby. If y'all are figuring out how to get better, I will tell you one trick. Pick a deck and become the stereotypical young Joey who has his single set of Pokemon. Because Trevor, you got good with just picking 1 or 2 decks to grow with.
Yes, it was basically Gardevoir or Sea-Pow. And
yeah,
it was like Gardevoir for board, and kind of just what's the word I'm thinking of? Kind of just like assessment
yes.
of what I need to win the game, and then have Sea-Pow just really, because that was such a sequence-heavy deck.
Yes.
So that was so we combine, I think just kind of learning those two just makes it just kind of you just really rocket your way to improve.
100%. And that to me is the big selling point, is if you want to grow the game, if you have to think about what your deck does
And then I
all the
played
time.
Hydrapple.
Yes, and then you played Hydrapple.
And then I said the board assessment was, what if I just KO every single Dragapult that stands in my way?
That's a good assessment. It's a good choice. And also, you did pretty well in day 2. You ended up getting top 128.
Yes, I believe I was one place below Yoshiyuki Yamaguchi.
Oh, dang. Okay.
He was 107, and I think I was 108.
Nice. That's awesome.
I remember seeing that. I'm like, that's funny.
Dude, I love that. What was I going to say? Yes, exactly. Raikota, if you pick one thing and get good at it, you don't have to try to worry about what your deck does. If you know what your deck does every game, you can focus on how do I sequence. You can focus on how do I game plan. What decisions do I need to make to win this game, rather than remembering, am I supposed to take 3 prizes or 2 this turn? So on Thor's end, Thor's game is pretty simple here. He really just needs to attack twice a whole bunch of times.
Yeah. So we're going to see. I mean, like, it's just the hand disruption is not as effective against Festival League because they can essentially just always have whatever 2 or 3 cards that they actually need for that turn to do something. So you really have to. So like you really have to be wary about like how many, at least like whenever you're facing against the Festival League, like how many different card combos they need to actually pull off what they want.
Sammy, you are wise. Played Dragapult 5 majors in a row. The deck is just good, and you've also gone to top 8 with it, so you should keep rolling with that.
Yeah, so I mean, can't really fault you for doing that.
No. And so, Trevor, you said something very wise here. Of one of the ways you can get around most decks is through disruption. For Festival Lead, hand disruption doesn't do a lot, but typically retreat lock is really effective.
Yes.
And that is something Zorg relies on against this deck. But as you all saw, Thor just used a Boom Boom Groove to put a Kieran into his hand, which means there's a very low likelihood any amount of retreat locking sticks.
We're going to get both air balloons down. Here we go.
That's pretty good. And then knockout with Diplin, Eli will go into the Yveltal. You just see Thor shake his head. No, I'm good, man. I don't need to give you 100 damage to work with.
I'm good. Well, was it Yveltal's lightning? It's lightning weakness, right?
It is lightning weak.
Okay, yeah.
Cookie Monster, we actually don't. We usually don't do meta breakdown for locals, but it's a good question. Is there a certain deck you were wondering about? Because I'll give you a hint. It's usually a lot of Dragapult.
You know, yeah, there's usually a lot of Dragapults, and then we have a lot of brewers that like to come here, so it'll be like Dragapult on one side of the room, you know, have your like other meta decks sprinkled in here and there, and then there's like some crazy 60 that has never seen the light of day, making its debut here at Nerd Rage, and just because it's people just want to have fun, right?
I actually don't know how many drill we have. I know that is one where there's kind of some contentiousness. And yes, Josh, you are the brewer. Actually, both Joshes are the brewers around here. I don't know if we have a ton of drill, because drill is kind of a controversial one, is the word I was looking for. Like, some people are very hyped on how good it's going to be, and other ones, kind of like we were talking about, it's just a lot of deficiencies in how the deck's able to sustain games.
Yeah, it's definitely all of them are Rhydon heads.
Yes.
They're probably going to be picking up that deck just because, you know, I'm going to get my dude set up. I'm going to start swinging, and then we'll figure it out. Like, we'll figure it out down the line what we need later. But well, at least for a meta breakdown, we tend to do them more with like bigger events, like let's say like our 3v3 charity event, or like any cups or whatever. So when deck lists are kind of just like readily available for us, we tend to do something. We tend to do those, but for like just regular Thursday night locals here, we are at the mercy of whatever shows up on our screen.
Raikota, Now that is some cooking of Dugong Water Deck with Dark Bells and Walking Wake EX. That is, oh boy, we are cooking. Love it. And this Miraidon head, Ben, disproves of drill. Ben, that's crazy, man. It's your style.
I was when we were playing Cube on Monday, he was saying, I remember Ben did mention that like if there's only going to be 4 like token Hydrapple players, why shouldn't I be the highest placing one? Which unfortunately in like we're not the Pokemon is not like Riftbound where like if you play your pet deck and you are the best placing of that pet deck that you don't get like cool prize with it.
Which,
But-
by the way, that is such. I don't know if you guys know about this. Anyone who's not a Riftbound fan, but can you explain like what that system is?
All right. So Riftbound, the League of Legends card game, is kind of been popping off. They came out like on Halloween last year, and they have a special prize for their regionals where so essentially if you played one piece or like a commander, every deck is like kind of helmed by a specific character in this game, or in the game. And the way they do the regionals, or where they have special prizes for the regionals, is if you are the best placing of a particular deck, you get a neat little metal card with that, essentially that character of the character that you just played, and it's you can only get them at regional qualifiers and stuff like that. They're very, very sought after and rare cards, and it's like a really cool prize to be like, hey, I was the best. It'd be like I was the best Zorak player at Baltimore,
and I mean,
like,
not to not make it about money. I'm sure those things are worth about $1 billion.
yeah, most of them.
Bryce is nodding over here, like yes.
Most of them, like at least for the best ofs, like even the unpopular cards even unpopular decks can still fetch like a 15 grand price tag.
Dude, I was gonna say, Sammy, it's gonna be real hard to win that poll, but I do like that because it does encourage people to play off-meta decks. I would love to get the stamped, autographed Mega Dragonite.
Yeah, that'd be
like
crazy.
archetype. That would be sick.
Yeah, and it's funny too because like I've been to Riftbound regionals because if I'm not playing Pokemon, I'm probably playing Riftbound, and I've been like kind of just been having that, and I've been to regionals before, and it's just funny to see like the metagame breakdown because like in Pokemon it'll be like, hey, here's like 20% Dragapult, 10% next deck, 6 or 5 whatever. All the other decks, and then like everything else is just like 2% or below.
Right.
You look at Riftbound, the most played deck is like at most 8 to 10%, and it's just 4 to 5% everything else.
That's crazy.
So this best of like system is super really cool. I like what Riot has done to like basically diversify their metagame and really incentivize people just basically getting good at their pet deck.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. But again, enough Riftbound glazing for the Pokemon stream. Also, but one more interjection. NRG series will be having their Milwaukee. I forgot what it's called exactly, but there's Riftbound Showdown or something like that on August 23rd in Milwaukee, or 22nd, 23rd in Milwaukee. You will be able to win best ofs at that event.
That's pretty sick.
So I'm personally gonna try to find a pet deck that's like, I hope that only like 3 other people play, and then I'm gonna try to win it. So win it for myself. But we'll see what happens.
No, and that's pretty sick. And so Riftbound is a fun game, but let's get back to Pokemon.
Yeah.
We do see Thor take the knockout, 2-shotting that Yveltal. And Thor put his Switch in his hand. Thor clearly has a Gladion in his hand, and then a couple other cards. And for those watching, that Gladion says that if you have no other cards in my hand, you can play it, and your Pokemon do 80 more damage to, your non-rule box Pokemon do 80 more damage to anyone. And so that Diplin means you are doing essentially 160 additional damage over 2 attacks. That's crazy. Like, that's just absolutely crazy.
I think your damage cap is like what? With the Brave Bangle, 210 twice, so 420?
Yes, which is pretty good. All right, so then, Trevor, how does Eli respond? Because that trap play is really his out to win the game.
Yeah, we're gonna have to either like, we're gonna have to reset up this Yveltal here, be able to boss this Thwackey and hand disrupt to buy some turns, for Eli to buy some turns. So just to get that Switch out of his hand.
So, Mira, I've been to Belgium. I've been to Copenhagen. I've never actually been to the Netherlands, so I would love to come out and play some Pokemon.
Yes, I too would like to explore Europe more.
Yes.
I've only ever been to London for EOIC, but even then, I didn't really do that much in London.
Right.
Because it was just like most of my days was around the convention center. But being able to like travel to all throughout Europe for events, or just like in general, it just sounds really amazing.
So, Josh, Rapska only blocks effects of attacks on benched Pokemon. So it doesn't prevent effects of attacks on anyone. If it did, that card would be way too good. So it is just on benched Pokemon.
All right, we can see the tomes. Grab out the Evital. Here we are.
And those tomes are just such a good inclusion in this deck.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing like the Tord Reklev like posting on that Twitter like his
Yes.
crazy like 5-1 or like 5-3 like comeback or something where he just like essentially played like 20 cards in a turn to like essentially wipe the board. I'm like, what the heck is going on? But this is really cool to watch.
No, it is. And okay, so now Eli planning ahead, assuming that Thor did put switch outs into his hand, because Thor does a really good job of structuring his hand before the next turn, says, okay, I'm going to put those good cards to the bottom of your deck, and now I am going to start using Yveltal to trap and put you in a very rough spot.
Yeah, and then eventually like gonna get the Petrarant. Like I know the retreat lock includes Petrarant and then Monkey Dory, so you're eventually just going to be able to ping 20 damage counters everywhere you want, assuming this Thwacky is going to live, but they usually tend to live, like you at least get 5 turns of doing this.
So, and that's the actual tricky part, because Eli could get 5 turns of doing this. Eli only has about 6 cards left in deck.
Yes.
So this trap play is super good if you want to either deck out your opponent or set up for a big wipe play. Unfortunately, Eli's not going to be able to stack up any poison damage because his bench is full. And Eli also isn't going to be able to use Monkey Dory because his bench is essentially full. So Eli's going to have to figure out a way to make Thor pay for having these guys get stuck for so many turns.
Yeah, so essentially, like it has to, one of these, this Darumaka has to be tomed out to be another piece, just because with only being able to access 2, only having one extra bench space here, that's the only way. Or we're going to be missing one of the crucial like parts of the trifecta here.
And so you notice, I don't know if you guys did, but if you notice, Eli was checking the number of lilies in his discard pile because he wanted to see how many more he has available to shuffle his hand back into his deck.
Yes.
And it looked like 2. Which means Eli has time, but not that much time.
It's going to be a tight window for sure. We can see another tome here. Let's see.
Yeah, and Eli smartly saying, I don't need to trade. I don't need to play cards. I just need to keep trapping and then just hope that I get enough turns where Thor can't go in and swap out here.
See, what are your favorite era of Pokemon do you like to use for energies? I think I've been invaded with the mind worms of using the Sun and Moon energies just because of Ben and Ryan.
Yeah.
They like to use it, and I just like how it's nice and kind of like a smooth gradient of one color. I'm a big fan of that.
I'm going to be honest, I actually love just shiny energies of any kind, but I will not pay for gold energy. So I love the play pack energies. I think those are sick because you get them basically for free. They're super pretty. It's just very fun. All right, so now Eli is in a tough spot because he has 1 card left in deck. He is able to use Boss's Orders to continue to spread damage here. I just don't know how Eli is going to close out the game. Do you have any ideas, Trevor?
Okay, he has to be able to, I'm assuming, if he has 2 lilies in discard, that means there's 2 in the prizes. So we're gonna.
That is what it sounds like.
So it looks like, I don't even have the Monkey Dory or anything.
And there are indeed 2 lilies in the discard pile and 1 tome.
And the monkey.
And the monkey. That is catastrophic.
Yeah, if it was like one of those pieces where like, or at least most importantly, the Monkey Dory. The Monkey Dory being there was super detrimental for the Eli's game plan there, just because that's the only way of actually taking prize cards in that situation. But even then, it's just like, without the monkey, you kind of just like, that kind of just, that's the stopgap essentially.
100%. And I think that is the big issue, is that Eli needed to do that and then clear the board, but just attacking the active isn't going to clear the board. And then at that point, Thor has a very, very easy way to clean up the game.
Yeah, and it's like, it's super tough for Eli too, because then even if he wanted to unprize the monkey earlier, that would also mean like attacking with either Darmanitan or Zoroark or something like that. And it's just essentially accelerating, or like you're just accelerating the game to where Eli won't have enough turns at the end to piece together all what he needs, right? So
100%.
Super rough prizing on Eli's end. But that's just how the game of Pokemon kind of rolls out.
And to be honest, it's a horrible matchup anyway.
Yeah.
Eli has to have a lot of very positive variance go his way to be able to win. And just when you have any negative variance go against you, it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's like you really like we're really hoping out on that like 10-20% for something,
Right.
like something like that. But
And Chris, you're absolutely correct. Exactly what we were talking about. You got to have that monkey to clear out the attackers.
yeah, so one being the tome being there too.
Yes.
Both the lilies and the monkey. It's just like, all right, there's a little bit too much against Eli's favor to try to eke out a dub there. But congrats to Thor. You know, always consistently doing well at our locals. You know,
Which is pretty cool.
Fleet master there, so you know.
Exactly. And Mira, I actually, Liv was just complaining about this, about how she pulled 3 energy. I love the 3 energy packs because that's the only thing I really care about taking from there are the shiny, pretty energy. So that just send them my way. But so, Trevor, I have to do the social media things because I'm contractually obligated to do that. But hey, you're watching Nerd Rage Gaming here in Buffalo Grove, Illinois. And we like doing this every week, so we'd love to have you come keep hanging out. If you are on Twitch, if you could follow, subscribe if your heart desires. Norm, I'm sure, would appreciate it. And on YouTube, if you can like, subscribe, and then click the little notification bell. Like I said, we're here every Thursday. We've got our, as Trevor was talking about, big 3v3 tournament, August 16th. And I think that's our last big one before Cup start, but the competitive season starts not too long after that.
You know, it's just consider this a little primer for the Worlds.
Yeah.
You know, because that'll just be the weekend before Worlds, so you know everyone's gonna be showing up for that. You know?
Exactly. Dude, people want to prep. People want to practice. They want to play with the cool stuff. And Sammy, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, the 3v3 format is fun. My favorite part is just because you get to work with your team while you're playing the game. It's not just you alone.
Yeah.
Who is going to be your coach in the center, Trevor?
I don't know. I think my team will be either Kevin Deach and Anna Whitman. And I think we're just going off pure vibes. Okay. So
right,
we're letting vibes be our coach.
Just shovel it up, see what happens.
Yeah.
Sick.
But, you know, I guess like, in a sense, I guess whoever is feeling the most helpful, or at least can has like the most like oversight, I guess. But we'll see what happens when the day comes. Maybe roll the dice.
Well, so and what are you going to play to this tournament? Because we do have about a week and a half, so it's not tomorrow. But I mean, we get to play, win some money. What's the run?
I'm probably gonna hope that no one is teching for Slow King, and then just play Slow King, and then just figure that out.
That is extremely reasonable. Dude, Mike, are you going to be up here? Dude, if you're going to be up here, come play. Absolutely. GA rules, you can play the same archetype. And actually, we are intentionally not doing that. We are intentionally saying you have to play 3 different archetypes because otherwise some very intelligent people would probably play Pult Blaziken, Pult Moir, and straight Pult and just kind of run over things. So we're going to make it a little more interesting.
Yeah, we're going to just try to, hopefully, as for our enjoyment, diversify the meta forcibly.
Yes, exactly. By sheer force of we're in charge, so we get to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, Mike, it'd be awesome to see you, man. Come on up. All right, so Trevor, if you had to pick a deck to play then, what are you playing?
Yeah, I'm probably going to, well, I think I was going to say Slow King.
You just said that. I don't know why listening is hard.
But it'll be like
Slow King, great.
Slow King. I could play Dragapult, but I don't think I'm good enough to like warrant playing. Well, one, playing a mirror, or 2, like anything, because I just don't play that deck very often. But yeah.
I mean, that's pretty fair. Slow King, too, can just run people over. It is a fantastic deck.
And it's like, I guess with a diverse meta, like, yes, you can play Shaman, but you're going to have to hope that, like, there's so much variance in a 3v3, and especially in this kind of format where we're forcing people to not play the same deck over and over again. So there's gonna be a lot more variance in terms of what you could hit. So I'm just hoping that what I do hit just doesn't have Shaman, and then or something like that. But even then, with Shaman, there's like also the Annihilate card that can hopefully try to cheese your way through it too.
Yes.
So there's there's always gonna be ways.
So I didn't see the name who just said it's a weekend of your anniversary. You'd be fried rice if you pulled up. Yeah, no, homie. Do not sacrifice your marriage to play Pokemon. I love this game. I think it's a blast. Stay married. Let's not play that game.
Yeah, there's definitely better things to prioritize than a 3v3. Albeit it will sadden us, but we understand.
Yes. I will likely be here commentating for it because we are actually going on vacation and get back on Saturday.
Oh,
so
okay. All right.
we did not plan around the event. It just so happened we were going to get back on Saturday anyway. So I'm like, I can probably come play.
I know.
No.
I get it.
Trust me, Kate, if you are listening to this, we did not plan it. I did not plan around the event.
I'm still waiting on you to have a daughter and then name her Tina.
Listen. All right. So Trevor is referring to the fact that Lost on Giratina was my baby and how I got good at the game or actually succeeded. I've actually been playing Rafal, built that format, and I've played probably 6 or 8 games now with Tina. I have won 1. I have lost 7 out of 8 games with that deck in that format. So clearly I am a little rusty.
But even then, it's like, even if you didn't win, it's like, wow, it's like you're as beautiful as the day I lost you.
No, yeah, it's horrible. It's awful. The deck's, I was about to say a word I'm not allowed to say on stream. It's awful. It was just really good, too. Trevor, I'm actually curious with you for that. What is your deck of, you just love this thing? It is your baby. And people in chat, I'm also curious what yours is. What is your baby?
I'm more of I guess it's kind of crazy to think it's already been 2.5, 3 years since I started playing more Pokemon. But I mean, I'm lucky enough that it has been in that last format. It's basically that format because it just had Gardevoir and Seapow in it.
Yeah.
Just wow. I feel great. Welcome back, Radiant Greninja. Welcome back, Mirage Steph Curlia. It feels good to be able to do that. So it's just I guess it's kind of hard. If I guess in a sense, if I had to pick between Seapow and Guardy, I unfortunately for other people would have to say Guardy just because I play with it a lot more than Seapow. Even though I love both decks, I just had to give the edge over to Gardevoir and just being able to Mirage Step, 3 refinement, next turn refinement, go Shining Arcana, draw more cards, and then be like, all right, this is so good. This feels so good.
Listen, man, I will not. You listen to your heart. Even if your heart says something I find to be appalling, still listen to your heart.
Yes.
And then Cookie Monster saying Seapow. Dude, Seapow was a fun deck, and that thing was everywhere for a bit. Rykota, Mew VMAX. I have similar feelings as I mentioned to Trevor. But, dude, Mew VMAX dominated. It was so good. Trevor, what were your thoughts on Miraidon?
I think it was I hated going against it just because I was Gardevoir, and I'm I want to go first.
Hands, all the hands.
I'm I want to go first, and I want to get Mirage Step off. But if my Ralts are dying to a hands turn 1, or going on the Miraidon's first turn, then I'm just have to scoop it up.
Yeah,
I have to scoop it up because there's really nothing I can do. Because even if I get a Mirage Step off, I'm down 6-2. There's gonna be I have to be hoping for so much, and Monkey Dory wasn't in, so I can't even cheese spread something yet.
Yeah,
so it's here we are.
Jose Guzman saying Giratina, my baby. I love Giratina.
Oh, Goodra. I love the little Lost Zone Goodra.
Oh, yes.
That was if there was Guardy, Seapow, Goodra. That was my third one. Because I just really enjoyed the fact that it was Goodra.
Dude, Lost Zone Goodra was so much fun. I loved that deck. And Hoptata Guardy started playing when your Temple of Forces came out. That was a good time to pick up Guard. Wait. Yeah, that was a good time to pick up Guardy.
That was basically what that format is, right?
Yeah, exactly. Chaz, Raging Bolt. Dude, Raging Bolt was a good deck. I can't say I enjoyed it,
it's
but
really funny because I think about it it was Raging Bolt was consistently the second most played deck, in a bunch of regionals.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Sammy saying Dragapult and Mew VMAX held you back. Dude, I was okay seeing Mew going. So I'd say on my end, Giratina, obviously, love that deck. My first deck I day 2'd with, and the one I started competing with, was actually Vickervolt. Vicaray. So Rayquaza, GX, and Vicavolt, which is so much fun. Just brought joy to my heart. And then, Chris saying Mew. Yeah, dude, you did pretty well with Mew all over the place. And my other one I will say is between then and Giratina is Corviknight VMAX.
I remember looking at your Limitless page and you were or someone posted on the group chat or something. You were my long lost
Yes,
love.
my love. Corviknight VMAX. Got my first Worlds invite with that. So just what a sick deck. Absolutely. And best finish with Sabrledge. Holy, that is sick. That is not a deck I had high on my list.
No, not at all. I mean, obviously, Vessel being gone really hampers how fast you can go. But, if sometimes if you just rip all the cards, then you're him.
Just throw a few little like drillbers on the board. Just
Yeah.
shove it all in. That's fine. Who needs bench space? It's fine. Just throw down an area
Evolve it
0
into
or
a
something.
Mega X drill later.
Exactly. There you go. Slap a couple metal on there, you'll be great. No, I will say, Toxic 64 on Lil. Dude, Cookie Monster, that's awesome. Congrats. No, I am excited because one of the things I've loved that Pokemon has done is they keep coming out with evolutions as the best way to play the game.
Yeah.
And like, Darkrai's not good, guys. I hate to break it to you. I would love it to be.
Unfortunately, as cool as he looks, is not going to get the job done.
No, Rayquaza could be pretty decent.
I did see some some people. I don't know. It's usually Japan's like new toy syndrome, but
Yes.
it did get a lot of play in whatever events or like little local events going on in Japan right now. But
Yes.
it does look cool. It does look cool.
It does. Chaz, Goldengo having a place in your heart. Joltik Dengo. So, all right, I'm going to tell you all a story, and please don't judge me for this. Those who played Joltik Box were affectionately referred to as crayon eaters, correct?
Yes.
So,
But they're really good though.
So-
Crayons are kind of good. Though.
well, so here's the thing. I have a son. I have an 18-month-old son. He is still in the phase where he eats everything. So every time he tries to eat a crayon, I tell him, no, you don't play Joltik. And my wife thinks it's hilarious. My child has no idea what words I'm speaking, but he thinks it's hilarious. So it just brings me joy.
Yeah.
So just so that when you guys do have kids, remember, you can make fun of them until they understand the words you're speaking. And then you really, really should not make fun of them anymore.
Unfortunately, have to dial back on it.
Correct.
But it's just
Yes.
but when they're oblivious, just go ahead.
Right, exactly. It's all fun. And hide and sneak on release. I'm not believing in Mega Ray. Listen, I think hide and sneak still has a little opportunity, but the more games I play with it, it's just a little too slow.
Yeah, it's just I guess if you can hit 170 on turn 1, perfect.
Right.
Cool.
You're cooking. That's great.
But when you hit 170 on turn 3,
It's not great.
no.
And also, if you're spreading 4 on everything, turn 3 without some kind of, and maybe, okay. Maybe you need a little more disruption and some gust, trapping stuff.
Yeah.
Because then spreading 4, you need to do it 4 or 5 times. And so if you can steal a turn or two and do it 4 or 5 times, you could wipe a board pretty easily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how likely you are to do that. Probably not very likely.
I mean, but when you do get it off, it's wow, I just took
It just feels great.
wow, I just did 17 black and it hit. Finally. I'm wow.
Right,
This is-
exactly.
that's the kind of game that would keep you hooked, so you keep coming back for more.
Exactly. I don't know if anyone here plays golf, but I'm terrible at golf. But every time you go play golf, you get those 2 or 3 shots where you're like, dude, I can play on the PGA. And they just keep bringing you back.
Put me
It's
in,
the
put me in.
same thing. Turn 2, you get the Sinistra, you're cruising, you wipe a board, you're like, this deck is great. Let's keep doing it.
I was also whenever I played CPOW, just I had Rick Handy backs in my hand already. I can go get the barrel, and I'm gonna go find everything. And I'm all right, time to turn 2, cross switcher up your mana fee, canceling Cologne, Rad Greninja. Everything's great.
Best deck in format. Absolutely incredible.
Everything feels so good.
Yes. All right, and so we are going to see a couple different decks here. Sammy, my next major is actually Milwaukee in April, because barring us finding either my wife and I traveling to a city that has a regional, or my favorite little band. It's called Sent by Ravens. They're a Christian metal band. They're incredible. They were actually reuniting after 13 years.
Wow. Okay.
So I'm very excited. And I was going to go see them at a concert in Louisville. My wife planned a trip that same weekend. And when I told her, hey, that's what I'm doing this weekend, she responded with a long list of words I'm definitely not allowed to say on stream. So she has lovingly said, whenever you want to go see them, go see them. So long way to say Milwaukee. That's probably when I'll see y'all next. What are you going to next?
I would hope to get into Louisville because I decided with where I am in life, I'll probably try not to fly out to as many regionals, but I'll try to drive out to some regionals.
Yeah.
And Louisville isn't really that bad of a drive. I guess it's a Midwestern thing, but it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a 5 to 6 hour drive, and I'm like, yeah, I can do it.
No, it's 5.5. The concert I was going to go to was in Louisville. And I was just going to drive there the night before.
Yeah.
Because
And
why
then
wouldn't
just do
you?
it. I mean, and I guess and I would love to, obviously Milwaukee, just because it's so close. And I think a personal favorite, I don't know if it has been announced yet. I hope it's still there, but Toronto being.
Oh, that would be pretty nice.
Toronto is also probably my favorite like city to visit to play Pokemon, or just city to visit in general.
It's a great city, man.
It's a sister city to Chicago, which is where like basically a lot of us are from.
Yeah.
And so it's just the vibes are very much like they're different, but very much the same. So it's like it just feels like I feel like I know it's a different city, but just kind of also just feels like home. And being able to play Pokemon is awesome.
And I would agree. And also, Anil and Kieran live in Toronto, and so if you guys aren't fans of the Shift Gear podcast, you should be because it's great. And Anil and Kieran are great dudes, so
Yeah.
definitely check that out. And so we are going to get into this game. We see yet another Grimmothy Snarl versus Dragapult this time.
Here we go.
And this is a really good matchup for Grimmsnarl if it sets up.
Yeah, that's obviously contingent on a lot of ifs here, but getting it to go first, unfortunately for Rafal here, I don't see any way to get an Impidimp out.
I think getting to go first is very different from having to go first, which
Yeah.
is what I think Rafal had to do here.
Yeah.
And so Rafal going for the Pokegear. What do you think he was looking for here?
Maybe he's just expecting to be able to find like another. I don't know, because he already had lilies in hand, so I don't really know. Like I know he's expecting to get probably Itchy Pollen here and just wanted to burn it, but like even then,
I think the only thing he may have been looking for is a Petrol
yeah,
or something like that to try to set up the next turn to go get a Spike Move. But like you said, having Lily in hand is fine. And Chaz, Toronto in November, early May would be great.
anytime not in December or January.
Which is when they always do it, but yes. But for Antonio's and Dreepy Energy, that's a great start to this turn, honestly.
Dreepy Energy Lilies, you love to see it. Only thing that make it better is a Buddy Poffin to find a Badoo.
Yes, so having another Dreepy down, a Badoo down, and I don't know if we've seen what variety he's playing, but getting a Duskull or something like that would also be fantastic.
Like, is this Dragapult with like mint chip? Dragapult with like moose tracks? Dragapult with is it Neapolitan? I don't know.
Well, it's Dragapult with a Buddy Poffin, and so that's pretty darn good, and a Monkey Dory. And this is honestly exactly what Antonio wanted.
Even finding that one more Dreepy down, perfect.
And so we are seeing the list. It does look like hammers, and I have not seen a Duskull. So Antonio just getting the Dreepy Budu down. This is a really good board for him.
Yeah, gonna be. I'm assuming he has another hopefully drawn to another Lily. Just gonna rip through his deck, try to find those Dracloaks, rip through more cards. Life will be great. Life is great.
Yeah, life is great for Antonio. Life is not great for Rafal right now, especially knowing he's about to get item locked.
Yeah, Rafal is really living on whatever this Lily will bring him next turn. Well, I guess like if he top decks a Impidimp or something, but we'll see what happens, right?
I do like that benching of the Monkey Dory just to get it on the board and not stress about getting item locked himself. And then, yeah, being able to Itchy Pollen, 10 damage on this Monkey Dory, and now Rafal. And
a little insult to injury there.
It's always how it is. The moment you get Budooed, you top deck the Buddy Poffin, the Pokepad, whatever.
Yeah.
And so what does Rafal need to find here?
Definitely a Spike Mouth and hope that thing sticks for the entirety of the game. If assuming this Itchy Pollen is going to be coming his way for the next 4 or 5, like 3 or 4 turns or something like that, right?
I agree. And Sammy, I also agree. I think it would have behooved Antonio to use that Ultra Ball either for a Meowth or for a Dracloak. Because there is a non-0% chance, okay, there's a 0% chance that...
really unfortunate.
That is not good. And so here's the question for Rafal. He may need to Gwyn away that Monkey Dory.
Yeah. Well, obviously next turn.
Correct. Correct. Chris, yes, I did have a 40-round unbeaten streak in regionals, in Swiss of regionals. So, guys, at one point in time, I promise I was pretty competent at the game.
Rotom Pow was a close. That deck was really fun too.
That deck was fun, yes. But Chris, thanks for the throwback. So now Antonio is able to get a Dracloak down, and he's really just hoping to hit something, some way to start accelerating.
Yeah. So obviously, with not getting the Ultra Ball for like a Meowth or something, we're gonna hopefully this one card is going to find one card off the recon is going to find what we need to basically chain together the rest of the deck. But we'll see what happens.
The nice thing for Antonio is he's got time, because Rafal has not benched any basic other than a Monkey Dory.
Yes.
And so Antonio does use that recon directive, and I think that's a Lily's, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's nice. That's nice to have.
Yeah, Ovi, appreciate it. I was very hyped to do something like that because that was pretty cool.
Would you prioritize getting this Monkey Dark attach or getting attached on one of your Dreepy lines here?
I actually would prioritize the Monkey Dark because you have so much time. Getting ahead of the curve here means you're going to be able to play around a lot of what Rafal tries to do. And Sammy, I actually agree, and also to not attach.
So we're going for neither, but we'll see what happens.
None of the above.
Antonio probably just wants to prioritize getting a Dragapult set up as quickly as possible. So we'll see how it rolls out for him. Because obviously the players at the table can't hear what we're yapping about.
Hopefully. Ideally. We're talking to Norm to make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, maybe we could get some egg carton shells or egg carton stuff to hang them all around.
Yes.
Dissipate all the noise coming through, but we'll see.
And Chris, I actually would love Joltik Box to be available when my kid hits juniors because that is like the perfect kind of deck for him to be able to play. Because I want him to learn something straightforward, simple, strong. That's like on the dot what I want him to play.
All right, we're going to get the first hammer down.
That's bad. But what's good is Antonio has an Ultra Ball and 2 Buddy Poffin. This is a super easy discard to go get another Dracloak.
Yeah, get those out of the way. Don't need those anymore.
Do not. Absolutely do not need those. And poor Rafal, man, just sitting here like, what do I do?
Sometimes it's just like it feels like obviously many of us have been on the receiving end of what's happening to Rafal here. So it's never a good feeling. Just
correct.
Like a whole what's happening? like I haven't been able to play the game yet. Hello, here we go. Especially like in a regional scenario where I'm like I know the clock's ticking down.
Right.
Unfortunately for Rafal, it's a best of one. But in a regional setting, it's gonna be like when do I scoop?
Yes. And that is a very serious question, is knowing when to scoop it up and say, nah, man, like, you just got me.
We're going to see the Night Stretcher for the fire back. Okay, so it just wants to set up that Dragapult.
And that's interesting to use that Night Stretcher now. Petrol for Rafal. This is tough. What do you do here, Trevor? Do you draw 3 or do you go get the Spike move?
Oh, this is hard. We're going to opt to go for...
Well...
Okay, at least there's that.
There is that. And to be fair, the result ended up being the same.
Yeah.
Rafal got an Impidimp.
Rafal, the most important thing is Rafal got Impidimp, and then we'll see. And then finally, we'll also, get an Impidimp and also not immediately lose the game. But we'll see.
Correct. And so here's the thing for Rafal. Antonio needs to not get boss because Antonio already has Dragapult's energy in hand. And Chris, yes, we are right about scoop o'clock because if Antonio does knock out this Impidimp, that's probably game.
Oh yeah, that was also like another skill I learned while playing Gardevoir because I'm just like, yeah, I could probably bring it back, but is it worth bringing it back? No.
Yes, exactly. All right, and so Antonio does attach. Antonio does have the boss's orders.
Oh my goodness.
Chooses to Pokepad, which I do appreciate.
Might as well get that Dracloak out the deck while you can.
This is one of the important parts of sequencing and building a board, is you make sure that even if you are in a very dominating position, you still play thoroughly. You still let yourself set up and be able to be resilient if your opponent does pull off something crazy.
Yeah, it's like even if it's like a 5% play, why not play towards a 5% play?
Exactly.
I've definitely had moments like that where it's just like I could just instantly win the game here if I get the exact 3 cards.
Right.
And I have some time. Why not do it?
Right. Exactly. All right. So then Rafal is able to now use item cards, and to be fair, he's got a good lot of ones in hand at this point.
Yeah, we'll see. We're gonna finally get to basically build the bench here to see what Rafal needs. Rafal's eyeing up has the Evital in the deck, so we'll have that available to him at a later time. But we'll definitely see what he has. Basically, gets to set up everything, so we'll just see.
So the nice part is because Rafal's hand has been so bad, he has so many good cards in hand. And this means that Yveltal can actually get some value right away, since Rafal will be able to secret box 4 boss's orders. And assuming his air balloon is in the deck, 4 air balloon to get the monkey out of the deck.
We do see the air balloon in the deck, so we will have that available to him. Gonna get set up the double snow run here, so I'm assuming this other Buddy Poffin will, I guess Spike Booth will be coming down. So I guess at least if one Impidimp lives to the next turn, then we're golden.
I think actually Rafal's going to secret box away that Buddy Poffin to get another Buddy Poffin.
Yes.
And because secret box can let Rafal go get a supporter, Rafal can go straight and get that boss's orders, see the air balloon come down, and then I believe another Buddy Poffin.
So yes, Sammy, Antonio will soon learn why benching this Fez when he did has come back to bite him.
Okay, so Rafal going with the Pokegear here, which makes sense because he is going to need a way to get another supporter.
Yes.
So attach to the Yveltal, air balloon the Monkey Dory, boss's orders up the Pheasantipity, and then Rafal will be able to start clutching this Fez, and he now has a chance to steal this game back if Antonio doesn't start hitting some really good draws.
Yeah, it's going to have to be the old boss Fez trap. You know?
It's a classic. It's a classic.
It's hood classic. You never doubt it.
So, Trevor, you're sitting in Antonio's seat. How does he respond to this play?
Well, obviously the lilies here would be great, but I would definitely, in this spot, assuming this Fez is going to get clutched up until the end of its time, let's start cruel arrowing here.
Agreed.
Let's start attaching to this Pheasantipity, hopefully rip some Crispins along the way, get this set up, and then start cruel arrowing every single Grimmsnarl piece that Rafal needs to develop here.
And so Sammy and a bunch of people in the chat were highly critical of this decision to put down Fez, and I just want to let you all know you were right. This was a problem.
He better see the cruel arrow play. Yeah, I hope he would.
Azul would have some feedback for him if he did not.
But we hope he will.
The Azul play. So, Trevor, here's an interesting thing. Does Antonio want to start cruel arrowing or start monkey dooring first? That was the opposite of what I thought he was going to do.
He did not see the cruel arrow play. Play the clip.
Yes. This is a family show, guys. We cannot play that clip. So why attach to that Dracloak?
Maybe he's just hoping that he'll be able to draw into an out, but that's assuming Antonio plays a switch card, which they don't really usually end up in there. So
no, and that's exactly it. Dragon Ball usually doesn't play. Sammy, please read the Fez attack. It's a good point, and honestly, even if you're not going to attack with Fez, at least start to get Monkey Dory set up.
This is definitely one of those situations where some people who are newer to the deck don't really see that line because they're like, oh, I'm only ever going to use Pheasantipity for its draw effect, but no one ever really considers. But sometimes if you're newer to the game or the deck itself, then you're not familiar that you could actually use that attack and it's actually useful in certain situations, i.e. this one.
Well, so I made this comment before. LAIC 2025, 2026, whatever the most recent one was, I started horribly, just absolutely horribly in one of my games in the mirror. And I had to start Fez, and I attached to it, and I had to attach to it again. I actually got blessed with a research and my Neo Uppy energy off of Recon Directive to play the game. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to slap my Neo Uppy on Pheasantipity to start cruel arrowing my opponent's Dracloaks. And did that feel horrible? 100%. But it enabled me to get ahead. And so looking at everything on your board is so valuable to try to find the line.
Mm-hmm. Chris really has a really good bit of wisdom in the chat. So when you're that ahead, you have to ask yourself, how do I lose from here? Yeah, like how do I present a board where I can insulate myself from any like lose condition, right?
Yes.
Because like sometimes you can be so far ahead that you get a little careless in how you manage your game or whatever, and then if your opponent is good enough, they'll be able to find essentially that gap in your armor,
Right.
and then exploit it to win the game. So you really just have to, I guess like moral of the story is keep your play tight, keep your play clean, and then you'll obviously find success that way.
Absolutely. And so Rafal now getting to apply some pressure with that Frostlass, and very, very wisely not getting a second Frostlass out until he has 2 Monkey Dories to move damage.
Yeah, if Rafal set up that second Frostlass, then he wouldn't have enough damage movement to essentially save his Monkey Dories from the Frostlass pings. So, and just kind of just maximizing what he's able to do here. So really big heads up, smart play from Rafal there.
And so Antonio now has Crispin and an energy. If Antonio had attached that energy to the Pheasantipity last turn, Antonio would be knocking out this Morgrim.
Yeah.
And then this game would be very much over.
But instead goes for the Monkey Dory play. Maybe Antonio is just tunneling on like, oh, if my opponent's Monkey Dorying me, I should be Monkey Dorying him back. Which again, in some cases could be the direct play, but when you're not really wiping damage off the board, like with doing that, then it's just essentially going to get thrown back at you again.
And so I would say, I actually, from the last turn and this turn, I really like Sammy. No, with only 1 Frostlass down, Monkey Dory would not go down this turn from the Frostlass damage.
Monkey Dory would be at 10 HP remaining. So
Correct.
Not quite enough there. If Rafal like kind of just developed that second Frostlass, then yes. But for this instance, no.
All right, and so Antonio does have Crispin. I don't know if he has 2 separate energy in the deck anymore.
So yeah, we have 1 fire, 2 psychics on the board, 1 dark. So
there's a fire. Oh, there's a bunch of energy in deck. Okay.
Okay.
Antonio's playing a pretty high energy count then. And so we'll be able to attach one of those with Crispin. Other one will have to go to hand.
Still better than putting, yes, but we'll, maybe Antonio just isn't used to playing against this Grimmsnarl, or just, just hasn't, decides to go for the attach onto the Dracloak. All right, it's okay.
It's not okay, Trevor. That was such a positive, supportive thing to say, and you are 100% incorrect. That is very much not okay.
It is certainly a choice to be made.
That is a decision that was made. And, I say this not to, mock Antonio or anything.
No.
I think his game plan assumes that at some point this Pheasantipity will leave the active. And Rafal is absolutely certain at no point will this Pheasantipity be leaving the active spot until he has wiped Antonio's board.
Yeah. So on we're going to say goodbye to the Monkey Dories. We're going to sit where Antonio's Monkey Dory. We're going to hopefully say goodbye to the Dracloaks. Just essentially kind of just have Antonio be essentially I guess he doesn't even need to go after this Dragapult because KOing this Fez, KOing the 4 single prizes on Antonio's board, that is 6 prizes here. So Rafal here is just going to ignore this Dragapult until the end of days.
And that's the thing. Dragapult, shockingly enough, is one of the best attackers into Grimmsnarl because it doesn't have an ability. It's not weak to anything. It's protected from bench damage. So it's one of those games where if you're Dragapult, you actually want to try to evolve up your guys as rapidly as possible so that way they are protected from Frostlass damage.
Yes.
And so now, here's a question for Rafal. Trevor, does Rafal get out a second Frostlass now?
Looks like Rafal is saying yes, but it's really trying to put. I think it's a correct play just because it's going to have to force Antonio to evolve up those Dracloaks. Unless he wants to say goodbye to them, but then by all means go ahead.
Yes.
But we're gonna get this. We're gonna get the second Frostlass here. Just start pinging even more damage, spreading more damage counters around, and also giving Rafal more fuel for him to fire off as well.
So, and I would say, Sammy, I actually think Dragapult's favored into this Grimmsnarl if you can run it over early. But if Grimm stretches out the game, Grimm's gonna win. because they are able to just put so much damage onto the board. Now, granted, that could certainly change with skillful play with Monkey Dory and the like.
Yes.
But Trevor, if you're Antonio now, you kind of see what's happening. You see the light start to leave your own eyes. How do you respond?
You really have to like kind of just reassess your situation. Kind of have to like, because at times when like the walls do feel like they're closing in, it's super important to like not get tilted and then just kind of like calm yourself down. Like obviously not slow play, but like take the time to like reassess the situation and like try your best to figure out like what the best line ahead is. So
agreed. And I think that to me is the big deal. Do not like try to slow down the game per se, but take your time and think through your decision so that way you are playing as optimally as possible. And Sammy, you're actually right on that, and that's a really good point. The hammers. The hammers, I think, are the biggest issue for this deck because if you start to get those dark energy knocked off, things get tough. And so now Antonio sees the light at the end of the tunnel and says, wait, Fezandipity has an attack. I can use Fezandipity's attack. This is great.
Wait, I can actually do something?
Wow. Right. So this does make things tricky for Rafal because now he has to figure out how do I respond if this Fezandipity does start cruel arrowing.
Yes. Thanks to Antonio and like attaching all those psychics like turns prior and essentially not setting up this cruel arrow as quickly as possible. Rafal can now reactively go and evolve up this Morgrim to protect it from the cruel arrow play here. So probably that's what we're going to see from there. But at least with Antonio, for us, he finally sees that line and is able to take advantage of it. So even then, even if this Morgrim does get evolved into a Grimstar, he can at least maybe take out like a Monkey Dory to move, like to basically like stifle more of Rafal's damage counter moving.
Yes.
So.
And then Hapatata, yes. So Antonio manually attached one energy and then Crispin the other. He just manually attached before using Crispin.
Yes.
All right. And so now, Trevor, this is where Rafal goes in and takes a 5 prize turn.
Here we go. So, it's just 2 Monkey Dories, or 2 Monkey Dories. It means those 2 Cloaks are gone. You can even take out this Monkey Dory and it'll get KO'd from the 30. It's looking really rough. It's looking really rough here.
It is. And so Antonio will be able to Phantom Dive in response, but after a couple turns, this game has swapped. And now, wait, what's happening here?
Oh, okay. No, he's going to...
Oh, I see. Bryce, can you check to make sure the right amount of damage is on Fez?
How much damage should be on Fez?
I think there should be 120 on there. And no, the monkey should be at 80, I believe.
Yeah, that's good. But I think after...
Yeah, I think monkey should be at... No, actually, monkey should be at 90. Yeah, Bryce, I can jump out there too. But I think monkey should be at 90, and then Fez should be at 120.
And this is one of those situations where you kind of use a lot of brain power when you play a Frost Ash deck because you will have to keep track. Will be on top of all those damage counters placements. So if you you really have to be on top of it to miss it. Like, if you miss it, then it's your fault, obviously.
Right.
And when you're playing something like that, you really got to use a lot of your brain power to make sure that that's okay. But anyways, here we are going to monkey 2 to one of the Dracloaks, and Rafal will elect to monkey another 2, or monkey the 3 here to take a knockout.
Oh, that's interesting. So I think just doing that to clear enough damage from the board, attaching to Grimmsnarl. And never mind. So that will close out the game. So Grim can go in, knock out Fezandipity, knock out the Budu, and then the 2 damage from both Fez knock out Monkey and Dracloak. And I am glad we fixed that math because that changed this from being a strong turn to the game-winning play. And so Grimmsnarl takes down Dragapult after a very slow start. And for those who are watching and commenting on the benching, this is such a good session to learn, hey, man, I got to pay really close attention to that because benching that Pheasantipity, that lost Antonio the game.
Yeah, and I'm as bad as it may seem for Antonio, this is actually like really good because if he ever decides to like watch back on the stream, he'll be able to essentially watch everything from start to finish and essentially like, oh, you can definitely like, use it to identify where you went wrong. I know I definitely have when I first started playing Pokemon, and whenever I got on stream, I'll be like, I mean, obviously barring if it was like, hey, I got on stream and my deck did nothing. But if in the games where actually both people got to play a little bit, you can actually like see where you could optimize where's like certain turns and then or like you can basically like pinpoint like or just kind of like assess sports states to be like, hey, I benching this lost me the game. I know I've done that many times where I overbenched like another Ralts or something that I didn't never needed or some other piece that I never needed and it just ended up costing me the game because I needed a bench space to do something, literally anything else except sit on the bench, right? Well,
so in Hapatata, he definitely did lose because he didn't Cruel Arrow. That was a key piece to be able to maintain pressure. But if the Pheasantipity does not get benched, that doesn't matter. The Cruel Arrow play is completely irrelevant because he's phantom diving every turn.
Yeah.
And so is missing the Cruel Arrow play more impactful? Yes. But we don't get there if we make cleaner plays leading up to that point.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you think about like, you know, the MCU timeline, like here's the line, guys, and it's just like here's the branching and everything. It's just like if you cut it off at that point, then like we're good.
And so this is something where I'll play against people and they'll be like, oh, you know, I didn't make that many big mistakes. You did not face negative consequences for the mistakes you did make. And so playing optimally is not just, hey, did I make the big decision right or wrong? Playing optimally is, hey, did I sequence and pull that card out of my deck first? Because you could say later, I lost because I whiffed that Pokegear, or I lost because I didn't have that guy available. But that wouldn't be a situation you run into if you had sequenced better earlier.
Yeah, it's like, especially... And again, like in the sense of worlds, like you really need to like dig deep and push those percentage points because even if it's like doing this, like you missed a certain play and it's resulted in like a 2% chance that you lose the game.
Right.
Well, you got to do it because if you're up against the best of the best, you need that 2% to like really help you in a game. Like it's a game of inches, and you need to take everything.
Yes. So there's obviously a ton of variance in Pokemon, as we have all seen. There's a ton of variance. When you are successful, you are not winning every game. No player wins every game. But you win all the games within the standard deviation of your draws. I need to move over here.
Yeah.
Because the better you play, the wider your standard deviation is that you cover. So if I play perfectly, I may have some very bad variance, but I've maximized the value out of it, so more times than not, I'm still going to win. Or hammer flips. Hammer flips are a great one to not account for or rely on. Play as perfectly as possible. And yeah, Mike, that's actually a great way to say it. How to delineate pro versus casual plus. Are you looking at all of the small decisions that led up to the big consequential thing rather than just at the consequential thing? And by the way, I should say it's clear, Hapatata, you're 100% right, too. And you're absolutely making the correct lead. And it's oftentimes just harder to look at the smaller incremental ones that lead to that. But, Trevor, Kane's giving us some pretty good feedback here. Thank you, man.
Yeah, we love doing this for the community. Obviously, like I remember when I first started playing Pokemon, and I came here, and I'm like, y'all do that? That's awesome. That's sick. So, you know, it's always a good time. You know, always, and it's also like really cool to like support smaller stores too if they're doing it. Because even then, like we're like at least for NRG here, we have like maybe I don't know 150, 200 people.
Yeah.
But if you didn't really think about it, like 200 people is a lot of people. Like if you imagine all that in one room. Like and then like all trying to like here for the Thursday evening to watch us. That's actually crazy. So any store that like is thinking of doing that for the community, I say like if you're and you're able to, then like by all means go for it.
No, it's absolutely a great thing, and I appreciate all you guys being here because we literally don't get to do this if y'all don't show up to watch. We have had events where we had 5 people watching the whole time, and we still kept doing this. So thank you all for being here now because it's just more fun when y'all are hanging out. And then getting back to the chat, like non-tomeless better for Zorark for best of 1 format. I actually think Tome is essential because Tome gives you more opportunities to play than other decks may, even if it's a lot more complicated. Oh, it's like 5 in the morning in Europe. Habatana, dude, thank you so much for coming to hang out with us. That's incredible. You're doing great. You're thriving. And then Shiny Man saying, game is rarely won based on bad draws. Most of the time, better player wins because they know how to play with bad hands. To be honest, I will say there are obviously times when you do just lose to a brick or a donk, but yeah, in general, you can play yourself out of most situations.
It's like, I was like, and the brick or the donk, that could be like maybe one in every like 500 games or something like that, right? And it does feel bad.
I'm like 99% sure it's just mine. It was just like.
All right.
Sorry.
Oh, Kane Chase from Italy.
Paul was
Shout out
wondering if he
Italy.
was stealing a dice. No, but Canes, yes, exactly. Thank you so much for joining from Italy. That's incredible.
Shout out Italy. That's awesome.
Dude, it's amazing. I want to go back.
I've never been.
I would love to go.
I hear like the croissants are crazy.
I actually don't think we got the croissants. We got a lot of espresso, and we got a lot of pasta.
I'm not
It was
I'm not a
glorious.
big coffee person, but I'm just like starting to like dip my toes in, and I bet. But I'm like at that stage where I don't have good taste, so I have bad taste. So like I don't like, so I don't know what differentiates like good coffee or great coffee from good coffee. I'm just kind of like, yeah, that tastes like coffee.
That's honestly, that's good awareness. I love it. And then shoot, Bryce, can you scroll down the comments really quick? Someone had something I was going to respond to, and I lost it. Just slightly. There we go. Rosa or no Rosa? Well, number one, Snowball. Yes, I love that everyone's watching. Thank you. I actually like Rosa. I think Rosa is quite good in Dragapult.
Okay.
But I don't think it fits in stuff like Dusknoir or the like, because I think it is rather than 3 Crispin, it's 2 Crispin and a Rosa. But I'm not going to die on that hill by any stretch. How about you, man?
I'd say like. No, I guess I am mature enough to say I don't have that much of opinion because I'm not educated enough to have an opinion on that.
Yeah.
Since I don't like I said, I think I don't really play that much Dragapult, so I don't know like how much like percentage points it buys you if you had 3 Crispin versus 2 Crispin, 1 Rosa, right? So.
And that makes sense. And Patrick, dude, thank you for joining from Boar's Hat. Boar's Hat is a great store. If y'all are in the area out west a little further, great place to stop by.
Was it Elgin?
Yes, Elgin. Great place to play. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you joining.
Crazy cool store, really big, right? It's a huge
Yes, it actually is. And then, Mike, if it's from SBs, that's all I care about. I don't actually know what that stands for. I am not hip with the kids. But so, Trevor, we do have our last game coming up. I would obviously love to see a little extra drill, a little Sinistra, something like that. What do you want to see?
I love a little Slow King fanatic.
yeah.
But I know it could be bad for stream because sometimes Slow King can just end the game in a snap just because they don't have Shaman or whatever.
Yeah.
Blaziken, yeah, then we could see some Blazikens.
These can be pretty solid.
Maximum drillings would be fun.
Starbucks. I don't know if we got it. Starbucks. I don't know if we got any Starbucks. What's Starbucks?
I don't know. I only know Tim Hortons.
All right, never mind. You're a movie bro, dude. Yeah, Doozy, thank you for subscribing. Appreciate it. I always love having you guys here. Need to be really clear. We don't get paid for this. We just like doing it.
We're doing
it's
this
fun.
for the love of the game.
Exactly, purely for the love of the game.
Especially me, because I'm not even sponsored by NRG. I'm just here because I just enjoy the community, and I'm like, have you ever seen Bleach? You know how like Ichigo?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like the Ichigo's like the substitute Soul Reaper?
Yes.
I'm just a substitute caster. So I just be like, I'm doing this for the love of the game.
Listen, I will tell y'all to hype Trevor up. Trevor is exactly what we would want in a community member. He is here. He is positive. He plays great Pokemon. He's fun to hang out with, dude. I'm so happy you're here.
Thank you
very much, man.
Thank you for having me. I'm
Yeah.
glad to be part of the community. It's really like it's like, how they say, like, you have your first space, which is your home, your second space, which is your work, third space, mine is nerd rage.
Yes. My wife is, I think she actually
you,
embraces the fact that I'm here all the time, but yes. And Kenneth, yes, absolutely. And then for drill, getting some placements, dude, you forgot you're handsome and cool. Thank you, Kenneth. Trevor is amazing. But yeah, drill, I think, is something that has potential, to talk about Pokemon for a brief moment. Like, I will say, Trevor, people talk about the trolley. I think trolley is absolutely the worst way to play the deck.
It's like if your opponent knows you're on trolley and makes you go first and then they itchy palm you, what do you actually do?
Lose. Absolutely lose. But also, even if you do get to trolley, you just kind of look at your board and go, huh, that's cool. what do I do now? Because you just have to hope that getting your attackers out is enough to close out the game. And there are so many decks that actually have really high level play associated with it. You can't just rely on that to close out the game.
And even then, it's just like your drill deck has what? 16 plus 50, like energies. So there's probably going to be times, obviously they're not as likely as you think, but still, it's going to be like maybe 1 in every 10 games, you're going to have 1 Pokemon and 6 energy.
Yeah, exactly. Playing Cape and Drill, I do think actually Cape is something that could fit because it doesn't help you play the game. And you know my bias, Trevor. I am always telling everyone, if you're going to pick anything, pick something that lets you play the game. But Cape stops your big, scary guy from dying, and that's really cool.
Yeah. Even then, like maybe even Scoop Up can help you there too. I guess Scoop Up can help in the same sense that Hero's Cape does, is that you can essentially blank a Dragapult swing.
Yes. The issue with Scoop Up is you put 5 metal energy into your hand, and that means they are no longer on the board, and that is a problem.
But you know what? That's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
We'll just play Lilies and shuffle them back in anyways.
Exactly.
It's okay. And then we'll never draw our energy ever.
You know, I have heard worse ideas, honestly. Pick them up, shove it all in the deck, put it back down, easy. And Kenneth, Extra Drill's cool because you do literally the exact same thing every time and just hope that that's enough. Scoop up Judge. There you go. Make sure less energy comes back to hand.
You know what? Why not?
Yeah. Or all the energy comes back to hand, one of the two. It's fine. It's fine.
Just hope and pray.
I think Drill will be cool. I will say, because we talked about it a little bit, I think Festival Lead, if it didn't have such a rough Dragapult matchup, is actually in the best position going into Worlds.
Okay, yeah.
Because it can truly run over everything. The issue is, if Dragapult even just draws okay against you, you're so many kinds of cooked all the time. Scramble Switch. Okay, I think Mike's cooking here. Do we Scramble Switch in Excadrill?
Might as well, if you could.
I mean, that's pretty sick. Dude, Scramble Switch, Wally's Compassion.
True, yeah.
I'm just saying. Just saying.
You could.
And Kane saying, yes, Kate feels really good, especially due to all Pult's messing up setup. Exactly like you said. Make him go first, itchy paw them, and say,
all right,
what you going to do, dog?
Here we go. Hope you draw everything.
Yeah,
oh, wait,
exactly.
You don't.
Exactly. That's not how this works. Kenneth, I would love to be able to play even just 2 ace specs. That would just be lovely. Bryce, are we getting pairings anytime soon?
No, that's what I was going to
All right, sick.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Where's my tremendous bomb lovers? Any
tremendous bomb? Your deck is so bad your phone may let you. Mike, dude, I would love to see Scramble Switch make something happen, Mike. I think it's genius. And Doozy, you're sign the NDA, guys. Mike, I'm gonna straight with you. There's no shot we get all of YouTube to sign an NDA. Godspeed, my friend, if that's something you need to make happen.
There's so much trouble even getting a couple people to sign. How do we expect us to have the capital to get all the legislature to get 100 of you guys to sign an NDA?
Dude, I can barely get my patient to sign a release. This is not gonna happen,
man.
And then Doozy saying Poltmore is a worst nightmare. Poltmore is also a deck that I think is an incredible position going into Worlds. Because, I mean, Trevor, that gives you such a power ceiling into so many decks.
And especially when you have the best players in the world literally playing it, they're able to find, squeak out those percentage points to make those work.
Yes.
And if I guess if you really have that high, if you are pushing the limits and then you are able to realize that ceiling, then you're probably going to win the whole tournament.
Agreed. And Mike, you did your best, man. And Chaz, yeah, try Scramble Switch. I think that's sick. So Kenneth giving some advice of going to locals with a hangover. That's fine, dog. To be honest, just maximum drilling, you may still get a few wins.
I'm just going to keep maximum drilling, and if I don't, I lose.
Right, exactly. I'm Metang, I'm Metal Maker, and if I make no metal, I lose. But before, Bryce does have the pairings we're getting up here, but do just want to say before we go to the last round, Trevor talked about a bunch. We have a 3v3 tournament August 16th, a week and a half from now, here at Nerd Rage Gaming. It is going to be a $1,000 tournament with the prices or increments jumping up as we get people. And if you're like, damn, that's 3 people on a team, why is that $1,000? Because it's teams, it's only going to be top 4 to start. Because if we have 36 players, it's only 12 teams. So we're going to play and set it up as if it's a one player, as it's a team of 3. So still an opportunity to win a bunch of money. It's going to be a ton of fun. You cannot play 3 Dragapults. You can also not play 3 Festival Lead. I don't know if you had thought about that, but it is going to be 3 different archetypes on each team. So it should be a good time.
Could you imagine if the board, all the games, the board exists at the same time? Because you'd be like, I know you clutched my Grookey, but there's a festival lead on table 3, and I can still use my Boom Boom Groove.
Right. Listen, there's been time where you would have overlap of actual like game decisions, supporters, stuff like that. There's some crazy stuff, man. We're not going to be that crazy. We're still playing Pokemon. And we have actually figured out how to stream it. So we're just going to stream our 2 outside games. So the coach in the middle, you'll just be sitting in the middle and not be on stream.
Yeah.
So we have a way.
Well, when there's a will, there's a way.
And I will say, and this is definitely Dan advice, this is not Nerd Rage Gaming advocated or approved advice. I love going to breweries when I'm at Pokemon tournaments, getting to sit down, play some games, like hang out with people. All the non-tournament time, that's some of the most fun of regionals.
Honestly, that's why I'm excited for the Riftbound NRG Milwaukee thing, because I'm like, we get to go back to that beer wall, and that was such a fun time.
Dude, that was a blast. Watching the Cubs game after Milwaukee last year.
That was a movie. That was, even though the Cubs lost, rest in peace, but it was like such a awesome time to be in the city, like experiencing all that, having a nice good couple beers with like the boys after a Pokemon thing, and like getting to watch some baseball. And it's like, wow, it's something magical. There's just something magical about it.
And I will say that's the part I love most about regionals now is like, it's cool winning and doing well. Like, that's great. But like, you get to go hang out with your friends. You get to be with people you actually enjoy. And Hapatata, exactly. That is why you go 0-3 drop. So there's less Pokemon in the way of you getting time with your friends. Exactly. It's a great system.
We're just using Pokemon as an excuse, as a vehicle to get together.
Exactly. It is a vehicle for friendship. I love it. But Bryce, do we have our games ready to go? Beautiful. So we are in our last game of the night. We have Ben playing Poltnor, exactly like we talked about, against Nicholas playing
Noel.
Bird. We're actually playing colorless GLC.
No, I think he's been on. I think Nicholas has been on the Alakazam Birds.
Ah, okay.
So we'll know for sure after this, but I'm pretty sure that's what he's doing.
That's a much more reasonable answer, to be honest with you. Ice cold brew shots with the gang after tournaments, dude. Listen, it's a good time. And Kenneth,
why even after? Why not before? What's stopping you?
And Kenneth saying going to phase 2 with Excadrill and then have a less than sober evening. You know what, man? Whatever you want to do, live your life. But I will say, back onto the game, and guys, I do encourage everyone to make responsible life decisions.
Yes, of course.
Really, really need to stress, be responsible adults and or non-adults. Just take care of yourselves.
Yeah, stay safe out there.
Yes, but Trevor, tell us about Alakazam.
All right. Well, we had one earlier in, I think it was round 1.
Yes.
But we're seeing the Toucanon come into this list again. So Karis Jones kind of
Yeah, she absolutely crushed it with the Alakazam control.
Yeah, she basically revolutionized the Alakazam game here. So we'll see if Nicholas has followed suit in that. But Alakazam is just, turns out when you have your entire deck in your hand and you have all the options available to you, it's pretty good.
Well, so here's the thing. Nicholas just used telepathic energy. Nicholas got a single Abra out of his deck. That seems... Bryce is nodding his head like, oh yeah, that is a problem.
That's a Rut-Row Raggy.
That is a Rut-Row Raggy moment. And Ben, on the other hand, playing that Poltnor we were talking about, and if there is ever a Budu turn, it is this turn to Budu.
Definitely.
Because, I mean, Nicholas was not able to get a very strong board. It's not bad. Excuse me, it's not bad, but it is going to be very, very fragile with only those 2 Abra to work from.
Yeah, and if Benjamin is ever in a point where he can take out both Alakazam lines in one go, which he is on Poltnor, so it is very, very much possible. It could spell a lot of trouble here for Nicholas.
Agreed. And so, Ben, playing that Lilies, going with just 1 Dreepy and guaranteeing the Budu, what do you think about that choice?
I think that's totally reasonable. I think because even if you took out a second Dreepy or something, after you Lilies, you're decreasing your odds of drawing into more Dreepy. So just essentially keeping his chances at drawing into more additional Pokemon live after this Lily. So I think it's the correct play here.
Mike, listen, I will not encourage performance enhancing for anyone, but I am glad that helped you out, dude. All right, so then, kind of like you mentioned, we kept Dreepies in the deck. Ben did find the Dreepy, and this is actually something really cool about Ben's list. Ben is not playing Unfair Stamp. He's not playing Secret Box. He's playing Sparkling Crystal as his A spec.
That's like a throwback from the past. That's like 2024 pull when it first got released because everyone's just like, oh yeah, crystals should be good.
Right, Arven. You play Arven. Everything plays Arven.
Yeah.
All right, and so Ben going for Dracloak. What do you think about that decision?
Let's see. I guess. I mean, I'm assuming he went for this route just because. In that case, I would have, if I had the available to, would be to Ultra Ball for a Meowth to get a Lily's next turn. But obviously, starting this Meowth, and I'm assuming there's only one in there, then.
And I will say, Ken, you hit it in, or Kenneth, you hit it in one. I think the ideal would be to leave that in the deck as an out, because you don't really gain any benefit from Ultra Balling right now.
Yeah,
You're not going to get item locked. All right, and so Nicholas does get the Dunsparce, does get the Enriching. How do you feel about that attachment to the bird?
I mean, like, it's now that enriching energy is now stuck on that bird forever, and definitely, like, it's just Nicholas just cut off essentially cut off the line of always getting to reuse an enriching energy by not attaching it to that Dunsparce. So, not a huge fan.
Yes, and I agree. That is exactly the issue, is now this Enriching Energy became a one-turn use card. And I mean, it's in this deck because there is so much opportunity to use it multiple times.
I mean, like, if you think about it and like in its most like basic sense, an A-Spec can only really be used once. But when an A-Spec can be looped, like Enriching Energy here, it's really strong. There's a reason why A-Specs are only a one.
Bryce, can you tell him he can't do that because of item lock?
Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Let's see. Hopefully he doesn't hand shuffle. Sometimes it's like, it happens to the best of us here with the item.
It does.
And it's like, I guess, like some people can come off of here, obviously it's Thursday night, so it's a working day. So it could also just be like they could be coming off a long shift or something or whatever. So, it always happens.
And so for those of you who are watching like, oh, this is bad, that should be like a major penalty, you are correct. And if this was a CP event, that probably would be, if not a game loss because we lost track of the cards, a double prize penalty. But y'all, we're playing locals.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't need that to be that level of sweaty at locals.
Like, have you ever played Pokemon with $60 store credit on the line? It's
right.
It's like, it's not that deep.
No, I will say, Nerd Rage apparently has a bit of a reputation for being sweaty. And to be honest, Trevor, I take that as a compliment. Because I want it to be a store people think about where we play competitively, where it's like people who want to get better, to grow. And I've said this before, I just never want it to be sweaty because we aren't fun to play with. Yeah. It is still a game. We should still be relaxed and enjoying, and just wanting to be better and improve while we're relaxed and enjoying life.
Yeah. So, you could always, rule shark there, but, in reality, what's that really helping you?
Exactly, yeah. All right, so then, now Nicholas has a choice. Does he want to retreat and knock out this Budu? What do you think about that?
He's opting for yes. Yes, he is. Maybe just kind of realize Nicholas might be realizing that he needs to break this item lock, or he actually will not get to play this game. So maybe it's something with that.
Well, so here's the thing. We were talking about saving that Ultra Ball to go get Meowth. It actually probably would have been better to save that Ultra Ball to go get Pheasantipity here.
Yeah.
But wow, getting the lilies off the top is a big deal.
Big bailout for Ben here, and even has the chance to even decides to commit the crystal here.
Why?
Maybe he's just.
That can't be correct, can it?
No, I think Ben is kind of just thinking he wants to thin out as many cards as he wants. Obviously, I mean, usually that can be no one would bat an eye against that play, right? Or against thinning your hand down before lilyings or using the lilies, but this crystal isn't getting you any value at all whatsoever.
And I think that's the balance. You definitely want to thin your deck. You want to be able to find the outs you want. But putting that down there, it is now exposed and at risk rather than beneficial. And Kane, thank you very much. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate your feedback on this. We always try to make it a good, positive, but still have competitive integrity event. And Hapatata, if Ben had a rare candy, he could Dragapult from the bench, but we just evolved that Dracloak this turn.
Yeah, so that's going to have to wait another turn here.
So then, is this obviously mean Ben is retreating this Dragapult, this Dracloak?
Yeah, but even then, if you retreat, what do you retreat into? Because you don't want to give up your Dracloak, and you don't want to give up your Duskull to use later, and that only leaves this Meowth, which is in danger of getting easily knocked out the next turn. So this is very, pretty rough a pretty rough decision Ben is going to have to make here.
And that's the other risk with committing this crystal is now you're in such a position where, it's going to be so easy for Nicholas to clear this guy from the board. And then you're going to be reliant on a supporter for energy acceleration.
I think I did see a Dreepy in Ben's hand. So that does, there it is. It'll plop that down. So that does lighten the sting a little bit, but still it could get pretty rough here pretty quick for Ben.
Well, and Nicholas has a pretty big hand. There's a non-0% chance that Nicholas just has Gust on that crystal, and then you've kind of negated the whole benefit of having this crystal in the first place. The other risk, and Doozy was talking about in chat, if Ben's Stadium is jamming tower, his crystal's turned off too.
Yeah, definitely. They don't want to have a conflict in your deck building. Definitely there's many times where you gotta assess. You basically say, is it worth it to have that kind of friction in your deck?
Yes.
Because you obviously want your deck to run as smoothly as possible.
Agreed. And Kane, I think that's exactly where Ben got tripped up too. Ben had to choose between Stretcher for Badu or the Crispin to accelerate and get ahead of attachments. Chose to go with the Crispin. And I think if Ben had just attached that crystal to the bench or an energy to the bench, he wouldn't really care about spending that attachment to retreat.
Yeah.
So for those who are watching at home, and Ben, I think Ben watches these, and Ben is a good player. He got day 2 at NAIC.
He's definitely, he improved so much in the year or whatever he started coming here, just because he's definitely one of those people that are critical about their plays, won't let it get to his head that much, but is just willing to learn. And that's the most important thing.
Agreed. And so when Ben does watch this, Ben, I will tell you, attach that all to your bench Dreepy and evolve that into Dracloak. Because there's no world you're going to be attacking with that Dracloak. So just feed a Dreepy to save yourself a retreat. And then see the boss's orders knock out on Dracloak. And such is the nightmare situation for Ben.
So here we are going to have... it took that Crispin to be able to rip a Dragapult attack off, but... this board state is leaving something to be desired here.
A lot to be desired. This is V-bad.
So we're gonna see, and we don't have a battle cage bump, so we're only going to be able to take one prize card off of this swing.
Agreed. And so this, I think, is a big decision for Ben, definitely to play that Dracloak first.
Oh my!
That is a huge deal. Finding that stadium.
And there's only really ever one of.
Exactly. Well, I think Ben may play 2 Watchtower.
Maybe 2, okay, yeah.
Because rather than playing a jamming tower or something, it's just the Watchtower.
But even then, it's also getting that at that point in this game when the deck is still so hasn't really been thinned out as much as it could. So electing to give it up. I think when Ben was contemplating that recon directive, he looked at that red card and he was like, I really would enjoy if... I think he's saving it for the red card and Watchtower play. But it's just a tough call because there's no guarantee that you're going to find the Watchtower when you actually do want to play your red card. So we'll see if that comes to bite him later.
And, Mike, I would say sometimes the stream does kind of exaggerate things in one direction or the other. And, yeah, Ben's a great player. So I think this is just one where it is a tough situation because now Ben has to decide, am I okay not phantom diving and placing damage counters? Because that's really the question here for Ben.
So I guess he's going to Ultra Ball here, kind of contemplating what to discard or discarding the Death Snore or not. But it's like definitely looking to get the Fez here.
And so from a sequencing perspective, if Ben was going to go get Pheasantipity with this Ultra Ball, I would like to see that pending the energy in hand before playing the supporter, because I think it informs your decision. And that exactly is the point, Logan, that there's no backup Dracloak unless he Ultra Balls, and he does decide to go for it. Trevor, that has to be correct, right?
Yeah, I mean, there is a world where you can Fez and then you'll find your Dracloak through there. But, you know, you have to play knowing that there's some risk. And Benjamin maybe just assessing that like that is just way too it's way too risky that I'm way too much like risk that I'm willing to take.
Yes, absolutely.
Gonna pick up the Judge here.
And this debating the cloak, but there really isn't any way for Ben to take advantage of that Dracloak with his hand. So Ben's just going to need to Phantom Dive, knock out the Alakazam, take a prize, and hope it's something good.
Now this is gonna get really rough because Ben now essentially needs to play Crispin every turn to get an attack off here, and obviously special red card will help, but you can't play Judge and Crispin at the same time, right?
Exactly.
So so Nicholas here is just basically gonna push the advantage and essentially make Ben have Crispin every turn, and then obviously due to variance, that's never going to happen, or that's not going to happen 100% of the time.
So, Mike, I hear what you're saying about the game being cooked. I actually disagree for the only reason being there is only one Alakazam piece on the board. And if Nicholas is able to set up backup attackers to stream, different game. I think absolutely Ben could be walking into game over. But if Nicholas does not, Ben can probably just jet headbutt this Alakazam and feel like he could still win this game. And Mike is saying it correctly. Pending he can remain streamlined. I don't care about how many dun-duns you can use. I care, are you going to be able to get another Alakazam out next turn?
Yeah. You can get as many dun-duns as you want, but if Benjamin isn't going to get attacked, swung into, then Ben is just sitting pretty.
Yes. All right, and see the rare candy into Toucan. So now that makes things a little interesting because there is a little more leeway for Nicholas to apply pressure. But even then, with a low board, it's not doing that much damage, Trevor.
Yeah, definitely that. But I think we've mentioned this before, Toucan basically essentially grabbing, like kind of alleviating the pressure off of Alakazam attacks. Nicholas is going to bench the Genesects, which is odd because he already took out the A-Spec, so that's just kind of just sitting there now. So I don't, again, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know what kind of value you're hoping to extract from that, benching that, essentially, right?
Agreed. And so I think for Ben, he just desperately needs to find Crispin.
Yes.
And if Ben can find a Crispin off the, do not play that first. If Ben can find a Crispin here, ooh.
Okay.
Okay. So that Pokepad is helpful, but not really game-changing. I think that Night Stretcher may actually be more impactful.
Wait, does Alakazam have energy?
It does. It should. Yeah, it does. There are 4 cards there. Yes, Alakazam does have energy.
But even then, like, being able to go Dusknoir, like, even like Dusclops and Jet Head. No, never mind. That's not only on 120. Never mind. Do not pay attention to my musings.
No, and that's exactly the issue is that the Dusclops plus Jet Headbutt is not enough. It would need to be Candy Noir.
Yeah.
But Ben can always just judge here if he doesn't want a red card.
Jet Headbutt, Judge seems good enough. And it's like Ben is keeping his bench low enough to where...
And so Ben deciding to go with the lilies here. To be honest, I think that is the correct decision.
Yeah, it's like you're not going to get too much value off of Jet headbutting like a Dunsparce or anything like that. So opting to go for the lilies here hopefully kind of just opens up the rest of his hand to open the rest of his game plan, because you can have like develop a Dusclops, get another Dreepy going, get more attaches or get more energy in hand to be able to attach next turn. So definitely the correct play.
So one thing to note from a math perspective, okay, so that Watchtower is immensely impactful here because this completely eliminates Nicholas's draw.
That is huge, actually.
And I think it is going to be important for Ben to carefully moderate how many Pokemon he actually puts on the board here. It may be easy because I don't know if there's any other Pokemon he can put on the board here.
I guess I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, the Genesect. I keep forgetting the Genesect to add the +20 to the damage.
I mean, it does. That is a true statement.
But there's just a severe lack of purple cards on Nicholas's bench, and that's the main issue. That's the mostly main issue.
Correct. So I think the one thing that is worth noting with 6 Pokemon on the bench plus 60, Nicholas is doing 120 damage. Wait, not 120. Excuse me. 620, 180. And that is enough to knock out Meowth if Nicholas can find Energy Boss.
Yeah.
So there is a world where that is super relevant. But, yes, Logan, exactly. Technically correct. The best kind. So, Trevor, for Ben, it has to be you put down the stadium, just Jet Headbutt, right?
Yeah, I don't see a world where you don't do that this turn.
And this is where having no Abras on board is so impactful for Nicholas because he needs to have a follow-up attacker and follow-up draw.
Yeah, Ben just kind of like tapping the
we did just tap the sign.
Yeah, it's another Futurama meme where you read the sign and then they tap the watchtower and all right, just making sure.
So now for Ben, the nice part is all he needs is a boss and a fire energy, and he can completely eliminate Nicholas's attackers.
Yes. I know he has the boss in hand. The only problem is he needs to top deck this fire energy because there's no way to draw anything off of his board. Mike.
And Logan, exactly. If Ben has boss fire, absolutely done. And Wansid, honestly, it probably is it adds damage. He also probably thought it stopped the A-Spec, but alas, as we know, Ben is playing the Crystal, which is already gone.
It would be good on Alakazam right now.
It would be extremely good on Alakazam right now.
That'd be huge. I think I remember that came up. Unfortunately for my opponent on Indy, when I was playing Hydrapple, I swung into something, and they handheld fan onto and put an energy on the Fez.
Oh.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And that ended up winning me the game. And then obviously Hydrapple known to have a crazy Alakazam matchup.
Yes.
But I'm just like, whoa, oh my gosh, holy moly. He didn't see this coming, so I was just like, that allowed me to win the game because
I love it.
He only had one Abra on the board at that time. And I was just like, oh, thank goodness.
So this was an interesting series of decisions on Nicholas's end.
Okay.
Nicholas has 1 card in hand, I believe.
Yes. What? And he's getting that second pick-a-peck out. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah, this can work.
So Nicholas just passing it over with 1 card in hand, and I'm going to be straight with you guys. If I'm Ben, I'm just passing.
Yeah, there's not much else to do here. Just electing the boss.
So I don't mind boss knockout Alakazam, honestly. I think that's fine. Or
we go boss there.
And choosing to hit that for 70. Now, to be fair, that's perfect math.
That is perfect math.
The issue is, if Nicholas has an energy, this could get real scary for Ben.
Can get really sketch real fast.
And just passes over to Ben. My goodness, and Ben found Judge, and boy, oh boy, does he not want to play it.
Yeah, so we're just gonna keep Jet headbutting here. You know, the attack that Dragonfall is very famous for.
And I agree. I would have. That's a very sketchy move to put that guy into the active.
Okay, we're getting the telepath here.
And this would be an equally bold move. Oh, fails it. No Abras to be found.
I think the last two prizes on Nicholas are those Abras.
Oh,
otherwise,
man.
those would be plopped down on the board right now. We're gonna get the Ultra Ball out.
And so this is where Ben can get that Dust Noir.
Yes.
And so with Dust Noir,
still really sketch here.
it is, because also giving up a prize. Oh, I forgot. Dust Noir is in the discard.
Yes, there's only like one, right?
Oh, boy, yeah.
So I don't know how many Night Stretchers are left, but I guess just grabbing this Dragapult to thin the deck by one. But you know how we said earlier about pushing percentages. I mean, even if it may seem inconsequential here, but it could prove to win Ben the game in the future if he is able to, like, essentially.
Oh, and Ben did decide to attack the Genesect. Do you know what, Mike and Trevor, I was about to actually say I give players a lot of feedback or a lot of compliment for how they're playing it at this point. And then, and Ben feeling a little frustration because he just top-decked the Fire Energy. That is tough.
Yeah, that's never a good feeling. I would honestly attach the Dark here if we're going to swing at least.
Ben did decide to attach the energy to Meowth. Rafal, what are your thoughts here?
Can you attack with dark energy?
Oh, that is a very true point.
I was literally just saying that point. Like, I think if we're going to a swing in here, I'd rather just swing with the Dark.
And so I will tell you guys, I think Ben is getting a little tilted here because there is still no need to use that Judge.
Yeah, especially when Nicholas has just been in top deck mode for the last 3 or 4 turns.
Exactly.
Why give him 4 more chances to find something else, right?
So the good news is Ben has Crispin. So Ben, actually, barring a Battle Cage coming down, can not win the game, but eliminate all threats on Nicholas' side this turn.
Okay.
The downside is
He had the Battle Cage.
this could just win the game for Nicholas. And yes, Ben is unfortunately on super tilt right now. And so y'all watching this game, this is another really, really big thing to keep in mind. When you make a mistake, when you get tilted and when you get punished, let yourself still chill. Because you are absolutely still in the game. And even if you're not, you're going to have the most success by letting yourself settle.
I don't think he can draw enough cards.
I don't know if he can either to reach the one shot. Yeah, because he sees 4, then a top deck, then 6 with done. That's at 11. He can if it's an energy boss in that hand, because that will be enough to clear Meowth. Oh, no, but he put down the Battle Cage. No, you're right. Nicholas cannot win the game this turn, barring some shenanigans I am unaware of. Is there anything you see, Trevor?
The resources are so stretched thin at this point that it's kind of hard. I'm having trouble trying to keep track of what exactly has been played and what's available to both players. So it's I think so. I've for sure seen 3 telepaths come down
Yes.
at the course of this turn. So that leaves only 2 energy left. There could be a chance that Nicholas just didn't draw into the energy, or he plays Hilda, so he's able to find that. But even then, that's not necessarily enough.
So actually going for the Toucan and then some kind of energy attachment here. Buck, eating your opponent's deck is not allowed in any scenario. There is absolutely no format where that is approved of, but I appreciate the suggestion as always. No, we could, so I would say we could see the fan clearly from this position.
I think I was talking about earlier when Ben swung into the.
Oh, and that's fair.
They were stacked on top of each other, and yeah. So Ben could be understandably tilted that he didn't take the 1 second to check if that fan that he had that was on there,
right,
and stuff like that. So
But being careful, playing through your turn, making sure you're aware of what's going on. And okay, that could be an issue too if the fan was just not noticed there. All right, so I'm going to be straight with you guys. Nicholas, in his infinite kindness, is telling Ben, I'm giving you the line to win the game. Because if Nicholas attacks, all Ben would need is a Monkey Dory to just win.
Yeah, here we go. Gonna start swinging. Let's see what he brings. Gets the... That is not a Monkey Dory.
But I would like to see Ben play the Buddy Poffin before Crispin, just to see what's available in the deck. And if there's a Psychic Energy...
Which there is.
Just Dusclops.
Yeah, he just Dusclops and then absolutely straight up wins the game here. Do you think he sees it, Trevor?
Let's see. Let's see if he does. I have faith in Ben. I think he can see it. Battle Cage is out? Yeah.
Battle Cage is out, and that is a big issue because Ben has no way to draw cards right now. So Ben can clean up this Alakazam, but there's a world where Nicholas just comes in with that Toucan and knocks it out. Now, on the bright side, Nicholas doesn't have a lot of bench Pokemon, so it may be hard for him to reach numbers.
Yeah, Toucan would only be doing what?
So with 460, it'd be doing 140.
140, which is probably one.
So actually, Ben is at 140 right now on that Dragapult. So would be 40 damage clear, which means Nicholas would have to actually bench 3 Pokemon in order to get around this.
He did Sacred Ash, all those Pokemon back in the previous turn, so they are available in the deck. I just don't know how much Search or Buddy Poffins are left for Nicholas here.
And that's also the issue because Nicholas just attached another energy to that Genesect. So Nicholas would also have to find another energy. And Nicholas choosing to move the fire. Okay, also for y'all watching this game, don't move the fire. If there are multiple Psychic down and committed, move the Psychic.
Yeah.
All right, so then, Trevor, how does Nicholas pull this off? How many bench Pokemon does he need?
So we said there would be 3, so 120 right now. So he would basically need to get 3 more.
So we need 6 Pokemon totally on the board.
Yeah. So there you go. That's 1.
And so playing a buddy on Nick's end, that's 1. That's 2, assuming there's a Dun in deck, which there are definitely Dunsparce in deck.
Definitely should be.
And now just needs 1 more.
As a Pokepad, yeah. So we just need the energy here. So I don't know if that energy is on.
So there's no energy on the Toucan yet. And so that is the thing Nicholas needs to find. Now, to be fair, he's playing pretty confidently, like he has it. So let's see if he does in hand.
This is getting a little awkward. This is getting a little awkward. Okay.
Oh, okay. So he does have the energy. He does do the math. That is doing 5, 6, 120, 180. That does clear it out. Alakazam taking down Ben's Noir. Is there a game 2? I did not think so.
No,
that was a long one.
That seemed like a long one. Definitely a bit back and forth there. There was a lot of who wanted it less.
A little bit, yeah. But no,
a little bit, but
there are the big things to look for there. Hey, are you lining up your plays? Are you fully aware of what the board state is? Are you planning out both your game plan, how your opponent's responding, and are you sequencing effectively? And there's just, both players are kind of put in bad positions, somewhat in their control, somewhat out of their control, and just Ben wasn't able to pull himself back out of it.
Yeah, definitely. It's we got to keep that mental strong.
Yes.
This is probably going to be one that he's going to go to bed thinking about, but, at the end of the day, it's locals. It's important enough to learn, but, at the end of the day, you shouldn't be stressing over something like this. So
Agreed. Agreed. All right. So, Trevor, any last thoughts before we close out for the day?
Sorry, I just mind farted right there. I was like, oh, well, let's talk about this, and then just went wow, nothing is going on up there. But it's just classic pitch black stuff. Definitely excited to see what Worlds has cooked up.
Yes,
because I know the the time, like the couple of months between the like NAIC and Worlds, like crazy stuff is happening, but it's just all under the hood because no one wants
Exactly.
so it's like, wow, that Prius has a turbo. Wow, who would have thought? And it's just like, that's just the kind of cooking you like people get when you come to the World. So
No, I agree. We're gonna see some really interesting stuff in a couple weeks when World comes around.
yeah. So it's also one of those things like, be wary. Always take with a grain of salt what people say online and in Twitter, because that's never going to be. It seldomly ever turns out the way people tell it to, like say it to be. So
Yeah, y'all, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
this is
probably
the
too.
place you need to get that source of information, but don't believe everything you read on the internet.
if you needed a reminder, well, here we are.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, thank you all very much for coming here. Trevor, thank you for hanging out, dude. Bryce, thank you always for the support and keeping the players in line. But I want to thank you all too for spending your time with us tonight, because like I said, we love doing this. We get to do this because you're here. So if you are watching on Twitch, please follow. If you're feeling generous, subscribe. On YouTube,
I know you got Twitch Prime. I
well,
know you have Twitch Prime.
that's true. If you're on YouTube, please like, subscribe, comment, watch, share. And that, honestly, that's the thing I always add. If y'all think this is cool and you know other people who like Pokemon, or even just listening to people yap for a little bit, please share. We love doing this. It's great.
They don't even have to like Pokemon. We do like NRG does a bunch of other stuff too. Big on the
For sure.
Magic, trying to get big on the Riftbound. It's gonna be a good time.
It is. Or even you just like us. That's a good reason
Yeah.
too. But all right,
I
perfect.
appreciate it.
Well, thank you all very much for joining. Have a lovely night, and we will see you here next Thursday at 6:30 here at Nerd Rage Gaming.
Have a good night.